it is not in this stadium, certainly not as full as it was for the game against Juventus when City won 5-2. There were over 54,000 in the stadium for that game, which was fairly close to capacity. At the moment, I would say there are around 35,000 people inside the stadium. It's a 9 p.m. kickoff in Orlando, and one of the top tiers is entirely closed on the near side. So it's another issue, I suppose. It's trying to encourage people to go and watch football at odd times of the week. There are only 20,000 in Charlotte earlier on today for the game between Inter and Fluminense, but then again, it was being played in the middle of a Monday afternoon, so it's a difficult time for people to go and watch a football match, and maybe we've seen that. But a lot of Manchester City fans here as well, and plenty supporting Al Hilal. And interestingly, the Saudi Arabian club posted on their website early today offering free tickets to any Saudi Arabian students who lived in Florida. If they got in touch with Al Hilal, they will get free tickets for this game. Jesus Valenzuela of Venezuela is our referee. Bernardo Silva and Mohamed Kano are the two captains. There is no Salim Al-Dawsari for Al Hilal this evening. The Manchester City team, once again, is Edison in goal, Nunez, Diaz, Gvardiol and Ait Nouri, the back four. Bernardo Silva, Reinders and Gundogan in midfield, with Savinho and Doku supporting Haaland in attack. Al Hilal have numerous injury problems. Bono in goal, Cancelo, Koulibaly, Al-Harbi and Lodi their back four. Al-Dawsari and Neves in midfield, with Kano, Milinkovic-Savic and Malcolm behind Marcus Leonardo in attack. Manchester City in their change strip of all white with a red and black sash down the front of the shirt, a throwback to one of their famous away kits of the 1970s. Al Hilal wearing predominantly all blue, and there is a place in the quarter-finals at stake against Fluminense of Brazil, the team that Manchester City beat to win the Club World Cup in a different format 2 years ago, and they'll be hoping to be reunited in this stadium on Friday night. And we are off and underway once again. Talk Sports exclusive coverage of the FIFA Club World Cup, and Manchester City attacking the goal away to our right in the first half, and on the attack straight away with Haaland on this near side. Now Savinho looks to play it in towards Haaland again, but he's given the ball away to Al-Harbi, but it's quickly given away by Al-Dawsari back towards Haaland, and Savinho in the penalty area seemed to have a shooting opportunity, but he was quickly surrounded by Al Hilal players, and it was Milinkovic-Savic who won the ball back for the Saudi Arabians. He was then fouled, but Manchester City with an impressive start.
It was an impressive start, wasn't it? And Savinho actually got the ball on his left foot, and yeah, they tried to close him down, but I still think he could have got a shot off, and he was in two minds as to whether to pass it or have that shot, and by the time he kind of decided which way he was going to go, it was too late. But City have started well in games in this tournament, haven't they? They want to try and get very much on the front foot, and certainly, as we're seeing right now, it's they're very much in control in the tempo of the game and possession.
And I think we will see Al Hilal have a fairly defensive outlook. They've started with Malcolm on the right-hand side of their attack. There was some talk he might move over to the left to cope with the absence of Salim Al-Dawsari, as Jeremy Doku has been fouled by Kalidou Koulibaly, formerly of Chelsea, and it will be a free kick for Manchester City, and it's taken quickly. Ruben Diaz wasn't expecting the ball, which was rather fizzed towards him by Gvardiol, but now he's in possession on this near side, and it's wide to Bernardo Silva, wearing the captain's armband once again. And then Reinders, one of the players signed during the mini transfer window before this tournament, and there's no doubt that the newcomers for Manchester City have really reinvigorated their team in the build-up to this competition. Savinho again in towards Nunez, and City have dominated possession in the opening couple of minutes. Simone Inzaghi, the Al Hilal coach, was saying he believes his team may have to suffer in this game and do plenty of work without the ball, and that's how it's shaping up so far. as Bernardo Silva crosses into the penalty area, takes a deflection at the near post off Al Harbi, and then spins into the arms of Yassine Bono, the Moroccan international who was such a success with Sevilla in European football. And Bono under pressure quickly as he looks to play the ball out from Haaland, and eventually is gathered by Al Harbi. A ball down the line on this near side, looking for Nasser Al Dawsari, who is deputising for Salim Al Dawsari, but he is usually a holding midfielder by trade, but playing on the left-hand side of the attack this evening. City look to come forward again. Sorry, Scott.
No, it's been a really good start, hasn't it? Positive start from City, very much on the front foot, wanting to create chances. Savinho has seen a lot of the ball. I thought Jeremy Doku has been superb at times in this tournament as well. Not seen him as yet. Well, we know in a one-on-one situation he can hurt anyone.
And he's up against João Cancelo, the former Manchester City player, and a good ball from him into the penalty area. Looking for the run ahead of him from Ait Nouri. There was a nice moment between Ait Nouri and Ruben Neves before kick-off, two former Wolves teammates, and he's just unable to gather that ball. As Pep Guardiola sits down on the Manchester City bench, Pep Lijnders now alongside him, the former assistant to Jurgen Klopp, of course spent time as a number one last season with Salzburg. Didn't go too well for him, and maybe he's back into a role that really suits him.
Well, I don't think that's really been picked up by a lot of people. I think it's gone a little bit under the radar. He was a superb number two for Jurgen Klopp. And yeah, it's probably done Manchester City a favour, him not being particularly great or successful in that season as a number one. And maybe he just feels, yeah, do you know what, the offer's here to be number two to Manchester City is a great opportunity.
Haaland coming forward now, 4 minutes played, 0-0. Wide towards Gundogan to his left. Gundogan just holding on to the ball for a second. Reinders will take over. We saw a nutmeg from Ruben Neves on Bernardo Silva a few moments ago. He'll have enjoyed that on his Portuguese international teammate. Now Nunez again on this near side. Savinho clipping the ball towards that near post, headed away initially by Al Harbi, and then the ball is bundled behind by Nasser Al Dawsari, and it will be the first corner for Manchester City, given by Jesus Valenzuela, the Venezuelan referee who has refereed Al Hilal on a regular basis this season. They get a number of guest referees into the Saudi Pro League, and our match officials tonight have been part of that, as City have the game's first corner on this near side, which Bernardo Silva will take. And there was a rather eerie atmosphere inside the stadium at the start of this game. Bernardo Silva's delivery, Bono comes and fists the ball away off the head of Haaland. Now Doku, right hand side of the penalty area, away from Cancelo, the cross in, and the header towards goal from Diaz is straight at Bono, who clings on at the second attempt.
Got to score. What brilliant play from Jeremy Doku. I was actually thinking he should have laid it back early, but he knew exactly what he was doing. He was just trying to see if he could turn João Cancelo, and he did with that turn of pace. A lovely dink towards the far post. It's just gone over Erling Haaland, but Ruben Diaz, is there, and it's a free header. There's no one around him at all, and he's headed it straight at the goalkeeper. What a wonderful opportunity.
And there are plenty of square pegs in round holes defensively for Al Hilal this evening. Renan Lodi is playing as a central defender, with Moteb Al Harbi playing outside him as the left back. That's his regular position, but defensively they've got a number of injuries at the moment. They do have one of their first choice central defenders, Ali Al-Balahi, on the bench, or first choice last season, but maybe Inzaghi is looking elsewhere already, as Doku comes forward again now, and this time the driven cross low into the penalty area is blocked by Cancelo, who was sent out of the stadium by that dummy from Doku in the build-up to the previous header for Diaz. But it's a corner kick this time for City.
Yeah, absolutely. And I tell you what, I like João Cancelo a lot, but he already knows he's in for a game this evening. Talked about how Savinho has been on the ball, not so much Jeremy Doku. Well, get the ball out on the left as well. He is just as dangerous, if not more, than Savinho.
7 minutes play, the corner into the near post, headed away by Cano, and now Malcolm had the opportunity to break there for Al Hilal, and he's been hauled down, and it will be a free kick. I don't think there'll be a card, and City may be slightly fortunate there. It was Gianni Reinders who knew what he was doing.
It's a foul and it's a card. He's late. It's a great play from Malcolm. just dinked it over him as he's dived in. It's a yellow card. You don't do that. Very, very lucky boy not to receive a card there.
Malcolm has it again, a good chest inside to find Milinkovic-Savic, who will try and provide the power from midfield for Al Hilal, and a good range of passing as well. Wide to this near side, it's gathered by Al Harbi, and Al Hilal with an opportunity now. A good ball into Marcus Leonardo, and now the shot driven in from Al Dawsari, and it took a deflection, loops high into the air, and it's claimed by Edison, but that will encourage Al Hilal.
Absolutely. First time they've got into Manchester City's half, let alone box, but not quite able to get the shot off. It's good defending, closing down from the centre halves of Manchester City, but just showing Al Hilal that if City just take the foot off the gas, you never know, they've got quality players, they can create chances.
This is City's first competitive meeting with a Saudi Arabian club, but they were beaten by Al Hilal in pre-season back in 2012, their first game following the Aguero moment, a friendly in Austria which Al Hilal won by a 1-0, but their record against English clubs is not terrific apart from that. They were beaten by Chelsea in the semi-finals of the Club World Cup back in 2022. As an opportunity now for Manchester City, and it's bundled over the line. And the opening goal scored by Bernardo Silva. The cross was cleared initially, and Bernardo Silva running in. All he had to do was just get something on the ball, and it bobbled into the back of the net. And Manchester City have made a dominant start to this game. Now have the lead. 9 minutes played. Manchester City 1, Al Hilal 0.
It's been a really good start for Manchester City. Again, whisper it quietly. They look like they know what they're doing, and they're not a million miles away from where they were just a couple of seasons ago. It's great play down the left between Aït-Nouri and Reinders. Actually, I thought he should have played it, zipped it across to Erling Haaland, who got in behind the defender. He's kind of cut it back a little bit. It's a bit calamitous defending as one kicks it and another, and it bounces off in the end towards Bernardo Silva as a simple tap-in. Aït-Nouri, just as that ball bounced up, just kind of hit his arm a little bit.
I wonder if it did strike the arm of Gundogan as well in the build-up to that. That's the point that Ruben Neves was making towards the referee.
Well, I'm sure VAR will have a look at it.
Well, Juan Soto, another Venezuelan, is the VAR. Well, it's the T-shirt line, isn't it? It may just have been the right side as far as Manchester City are concerned. The goal has been given.
You don't wear those high T-shirts then to show your arms then,
no.
Nudge?
Well, Al Hilal are not restarting here. Inzaghi is having words as well, and there's some confusion here. The Al Hilal players are surrounding the referee saying, look, it was handball. Now the City players are also getting involved as well. And are the Saudi Arabian team refusing to kick off here?
This is ridiculous. Whether they like it or not, whether they think it was a handball or not, they've got to go with the referee. They're not refereeing the game. Ruben Neves can't believe he's speaking to Bernardo Silva.
In Portuguese, presumably.
I would assume so. But he's not happy at all. The bottom line is, if VAR have looked at it, and the referee is saying that he didn't see anything wrong with it, you have to play on.
Well, we've had a delay now of around 2.5 minutes, and I don't think this has been checked. Or if it has been checked, the goal's been given, and Jesus Valenzuela is making it very clear that the goal's been given.
Do you know what, Nigel? This is ridiculous. Can't have players refereeing the game. Bit of anarchy going on here. Referee has to start getting his cards out if they're not going to start. Tell Manchester City players to get where they should be, and I'm going to blow the whistle in 5 seconds, and if you don't kick off, then you get a yellow card.
Well, the referee, I think, is still talking to Juan Soto.
Well, if he's speaking to the VAR, we'll let everybody know that. You know, and then just walk away from everybody.
Because the final decision is goal.
Well, he's made it very clear there that So I don't think we usually have announcements when there's been no VAR decision.
There's another level to VAR. VAR have been used by not being used.
And after all that, Manchester City lead by a goal to nil. Ederson has to leave his penalty area here to cut out a long ball. And now it's been given away. And Al Hilal have got an opportunity here. Al Harbi down the left, infield towards Al Dawsari. Al Harbi again, and it's cleared away by Nunez, and it bounces away and behind, and it will be a goal kick off Al Harbi. Well, Al Hilal are one of the big clubs in Saudi Arabia, and sometimes they do get things going their way, and they could maybe argue that there was a hint of handball, certainly, maybe on 2 occasions, but if it's not given, you've got to get on with it.
Well, you would assume that VAR have not fallen asleep and they are out checking it as they're walking back. I think certainly on the monitor that we're looking at, the TV people think it was the Gundogan thing. I don't think that was the handball. I think if there was a handball, it was Aït-Nouri just before that.
But Manchester City have scored in the opening 10 minutes for the 4th game running.
There you go. Very much on the front foot. I think they've been ahead before this game in 89% of the minutes they've been on the pitch.
And they're looking to extend the lead here. Doku. Well, the challenge comes in from Cancelo. He comes in field, but there's a real eagerness to Manchester City all over the field. And Guardiola has been doing his best to keep his team relaxed. They've been allowed to spend time with their families during the afternoons following training. They've been allowed on the golf course, and maybe it's a bit less intense than it was at times last season when things weren't working so well.
I think he's dealt with it in exactly the right way. He's kind of said, look, we'd rather not be here, but we do what we're told. But actually, we're not going to treat it as if it's like a kind of a World Cup when you have the camp. They will quite happy.
Oh, there's an opportunity again for Al Hilal as City almost give the ball away. But it bounces back to Ederson.
Well, it's a couple of times now. First of all, it was Ederson about 5 minutes ago giving the ball away like he did in the last game. And there it was Reinders playing it against a City player, and it just bounced up, unfortunately for them, straight at Ederson. But no, I think Pep Guardiola's dealt with it in absolutely the perfect way. Bring the families over, try and get them to enjoy this as much as possible. Yes, we want to win this competition because we're in it, but we're not going to treat it as if you're Fabio Capello, manager of England.
I remember that camp.
Exactly.
In the middle of nowhere, and no one was having a good time.
And no ketchup.
Now an opportunity for City again, and maybe it's not too much of a surprise that England didn't go as far as maybe they should have done.
For the record, I don't have ketchup now.
But still. Very much a brown sauce, man. Here's Savinho now coming forward down the right, but challenged inside the penalty area by Lodi. And Lodi, the former Atletico Madrid and Marseille defender, will clear, but City win it back. Savinho again on this near side. And 1 or 2 Al Hilal players are chasing shadows already here. They need to try and stay in the game, which is what they did against Real Madrid. And I think they went out to prove a point and did with that 1-1 draw. In many ways, by getting to the round of 16, they've done what they've had to do here. But of course, this is another opportunity to show off their league.
Well, I think, unfortunately for them, they're up against the finalist.
Now Nunez looking to nutmeg Koulibaly on the edge of the penalty area. Milinkovic-Savic will bring the ball away. He's been fouled by Aït-Nouri, and it will be a free kick.
Yeah, I think Manchester City have been so good. I've been so impressed with them in this particular tournament. I mentioned it to Paul earlier that individually they're playing well, but it looks like they've been as a team for 2 or 3 years. Not just looking good going forward, but pressing well, defending well, being in the right places, working hard for each other. It almost does look like they've got their mojo back.
And now Marcus Leonardo on the chase for Al Hilal. There's no offside flag, he's all on his own, and eventually he was challenged by Gvardiol, and it bobbles back towards Ederson again. But interesting character, Marcus Leonardo. Arrived from Benfica as a sort of wide attacking player, maybe a number 10, didn't really make an impact. Alexander Mitrovic got injured, more in that at the moment. Haaland seemed to handle the ball there, but nothing's been given by the referee as he controls, and now Doku is beaten to it by Milinkovic-Savic. Mitrovic got injured, so they put Marcus Leonardo in as a centre forward because they basically had no one else, and they couldn't stop scoring and got 27 last season.
You know, just because of the Premier League feel, I'd love to have seen Mitrovic playing. There's enough Premier League experience on this pitch. Ruben Neves is a player I really like. I thought he was man of the match against Real Madrid. Fantastic player. You know, still in his sort of mid to late 20s.
Yeah, 28 years of age. Mitrovic has been a prolific goal scorer for Al Hilal, but he got injured in the Saudi Kings Cup quarter-final against Al Ittihad back in January. That's when Marcus Leonardo came into the team and scored all those goals, but he's never quite been fit since and injured his calf in the build-up to this tournament. And Inzaghi, I think, will just wait and see and hope he's fit for the start of the Saudi season. And of course Inzaghi only arrived for the start of this tournament. Jorge Jesus, the player who, or the coach rather, who was sacked after they were knocked out of the Asian Champions League by Ivan Toney's Al Ahly, who went on to win the competition. Now Milinkovic-Savic with the cross in, headed away by Ruben Diaz at the near post. And then Bernardo Silva will clear, looking for Doku. 19 minutes played here on Talk Sport. More exclusive coverage from the FIFA Club World Cup. And Manchester City leading Al Hilal by a goal to nil in Orlando at the Camping World Stadium, which reminds me I need a new Kagul. And now Koulibaly forward again towards Neves, and now Milinkovic-Savic has got the opportunity to break, and he's found Malcolm, who in the absence of Salim Al Dawsari really needs to put on a show for Al Hilal. Now Lodi has Al Harbi outside him. It's infield again to Mohamed Kano, and he clips a good ball wide to the far side, and Cancelo now's got space down the right. The crossing though is overhit, and it will dribble out of play on this near side for a throw into Manchester City.
Well, it's a shame because that was a decent position and it was well overhit. It's almost as if Al Hilal deserve a goal just to get into the final third of Manchester City. But if they are to score a proper goal, someone like him has got better quality than that. Two players in the box, got to have it lower.
Kano though wins it back for Al Hilal here. Now Neves, who has been quiet so far. And Al Hilal really need players like Neves to be at their best to give them any real chance in this game. Bernardo Silva back to this near side, and Diaz down the line for Savinho. He's been fouled by Kano, pushing the back, and it will be a free kick for Manchester City. We're 20 minutes played here, and they're leading by a goal to nil on Talk Sport. And on the balance of play, they deserve to be ahead, although there was a hint of controversy about the goal scored by Bernardo Silva. Potential handballs by Ait Nouri and Gundogan were waved away by the Venezuelan match official, despite prolonged Al Hilal protests, as Diaz brings it forward now for Manchester City. Now Nunez clipped over the top for Savinho. He stays onside. Plenty of room in behind Al Harbi on this near side at the moment. Now Nunez, Diaz, and Gundogan plays it back out wide to the right, and Savinho again. A good ball into the penalty area. Gundogan back towards Nunez, and now Savinho lets fly left-footed. We've seen him do that before in spectacular fashion during this Club World Cup, but this time it's high over the top.
Yeah, it's Gundogan getting into the box, little patterns of play, passing inside, goes back to Savinho, and he's got to hit the target if he's going to shoot from there. Otherwise, just keep putting Al Hilal under pressure. You know, they're playing five at the back here, and you can understand why, and it is a five because they're getting pinned back completely. So once you get that ball 25 yards out, if you are going to have a shot, you have to hit the target. Don't waste it.
Gianni Infantino, the president of FIFA, is here tonight. Arsene Wenger is also in attendance watching this game. It's Manchester City bring it forward again with Diaz. Both the central defenders are basically on the halfway line at the moment, such as City's dominance. Midway through the first half, Bernardo Silva. And now an opportunity for Savinho to play in Nunez, and Savinho again. Al-Harbi doesn't really know which way they're going. It's inside again to Ruben Diaz. Yeah, Luigi Collina is also watching this game, so no pressure on the referee as Doku plays it back towards Aït-Nouri. And now Doku again will try and isolate Cancelo deep into the penalty area. Low shot from him is just wide, and at the far post Haaland wasn't too far away from that.
No, he wasn't, and it's unlike Erling Haaland not to sort of try to read those things. Just brilliant play from Jeremy Doku, going inside Joao Cancelo. We're trying to get a 2v1, but Malcolm can't get back in time. And if he gets any kind of contact, Doku's going to go down as a penalty, and he whips it across the box. And Haaland's just a little bit on it, the back of his feet rather than being on his toes, reading that situation. It was just a yard away from a simple tap-in.
Now Haaland on the edge of the penalty area, in towards Savinho, around the goalkeeper, but Bono recovers superbly. Savinho hooks it back into the area, controlled by Reinders, but Cano will clear, and then it's jabbed away by Cancelo to Malcolm on the far side. And there was the potential there for a counter-attack for Al Hilal, but Yassine Bono showing his value to this team again. Now Lodi finding Cano. And it's all the way back to Ruben Neves, who was almost playing as a third central defender at the moment.
He is. He's that fifth defender. He's playing as that kind of sweeper, but at times he's picking up Erling Haaland.
Now Malcolm coming forward, inside from the right for Al Hilal, and wide towards Cancelo. The cross into the penalty area, cleared away by Diaz. Almost won back on the far side by Milinkovic-Savic. Now he's on the ball now, and he plays an excellent pass wide towards Cancelo. Low ball in, and again it's Diaz who was there to clear the ball away, but Al Hilal looking to maintain the pressure here. Milinkovic-Savic with the cross in, looking for Marcus Leonardo. Haaland is back there defending, and eventually Doku will gather wide on the far side, the left.
Well done again to Al Hilal for at least trying to get into the box and creating chances. I'll tell you what, Nigel, all the while it's 1-0, they're still in this game. City have absolutely dominated, but you never know what can happen. A mistake, maybe from Edison, a bit of brilliance from somebody, a set piece. 25 minutes gone, still in this game.
City with 67% of the possession so far. 5 shots, 3 on target. Al Hilal have had 1 shot off target. Now Ruben Diaz, 25 yards out, wide towards Savinho down the right, and he'll try and take on Al-Harbi once again. Nunez all straight to Milinkovic-Savic. Milinkovic-Savic goes down. He may have been caught by Gundogan, but I think he also knew he'd given the ball away, so he was keen to go down.
Yeah, he's done that a few times, hasn't he? Just got that nudge, gone down, won the free kick, and it just relieves a little bit of pressure, to be honest with you. Very much on the back foot all the time. And Ruben Neves is playing as that sort of centre-half, that third centre-half, that sweeper, call him what you will. But there is times where he's isolated. If City are able to get the ball into the box, he's the one picking up Erling Haaland.
And having seen a good deal of Al Hilal last season, if Neves is that deep, they lose so much.
Yeah.
Because they need him to be creating the passes forward.
Well, then quite simply you're reacting to what the team's doing in front of you, because you are 20 yards further back, rather than trying to help dictate the tempo of the game being in midfield.
A yellow card here for Josko Gvardiol, because he was turned by Marcus Leonardo, who maybe had the pace to get away for Al Hilal, but Gvardiol pulled him down, and he's shown the yellow card for the foul on halfway.
There's a really good turn from Leonardo. The ball was going one way, and in the end he's just kind of rolled him, and Guardiola's brought him down. Definite foul, definite yellow card, no complaints whatsoever.
And you're listening to the FIFA Club World Cup live on TalkSport, presented by DAZN. Watch every game of the FIFA Club World Cup live and for free on DAZN. Sign up at dazn.com. 27 minutes played here, and it's Manchester City 1, Al Hilal 0. Bernardo Silva bundling in the only goal within the opening 10 minutes, and Ruben Neves over the free kick, high to the far side, looking for Milinkovic-Savic, who will get there, fires in the volley, and it was gathered by Edison, but I think the ball had gone behind. And in the absence of Salim Al-Dawsari, that connection between Neves and Milinkovic-Savic could be the most important one on the field for Al Hilal.
Sorry, Nigel, it's just difficult to really have that connection because he is 20 yards further back, and he is, having to realise, first of all, he's having to defend more, which is not really his game. He can read situations as a holding midfielder, but he's a passer. He's a controller of a tempo of a game. And you're not able to do that really from the sweeper position.
There have been times when Milinkovic-Savic has often played as the second centre-forward to Mitrovic, or maybe the number 9 himself, and I wonder if we may see that at some stage in the game. Savinho now in towards Gundogan, beaten away by Bono at the near post. A very strong hand from him, but once again Al Hilal chasing shadows due to the brilliance of Manchester City around the penalty area.
Absolute brilliance. Fantastic passing and moving as the ball goes into Gundogan, into Savinho, plays it back in behind, and that's a really good save from Bono, because it looks like Gundogan is waiting for him to come down and get over him.
And the header tipped over by Bono again. It was met powerfully by Guardiola at the near post, and Bono arching his back to keep Al Hilal in touch.
And what an opportunity that is as well. 6 yards out, Guardiola, no one's around him, or at least he's got half a yard. It's a free header, no one's getting the arm across. He's not able to get on top of it, and Erling Haaland's just behind him as well.
Bernardo Silva again with a deeper corner, headed away by Koulibaly. Reinders tries to return it to Bernardo Silva, but it's cut out. Quickly swept forward. There could be a 2-on-1 break here for Al Hilal, but Malcolm can't find Marcus Leonardo. Ait Nouri was outnumbered for a moment there, but the quality of the ball in field wasn't good enough.
No, but Malcolm was unlucky because he knew what he wanted to do. He read the situation before the ball even came to him, and he wanted to try and put it in behind, but on his left foot wasn't able to hook it round. And in the end, the City players did get back. It was the right idea for Malcolm, just wrong execution.
Well, Al Hilal did reach the final of this competition in 2022. They beat Flamengo 3-2 in the semi-final before losing 5-3 to Real Madrid in the final. Manchester City, of course, won this title the following year. They beat Fluminense in Jeddah, and they could be playing them again in the quarter-final as Marcus Leonardo looks to move forward again with some pace down the left-hand side, but again he's isolated for Al Hilal, and Reinders was able to get back, and usually that would be Al-Dawsari, Salim Al-Dawsari going forward down the left, and without him in the team, Al Hilal missed so much.
Well, Reinders did well there because he did do him for pace, Leonardo, initially, and then he kind of just got back the second time, so well done Reinders.
Now Docker. Good game this as well. 14 minutes to play in the first half. Manchester City leading Al Hilal by a goal to nil on Talk Sport as Diaz brings it forward again now for City, up towards the edge of the penalty area. Square to Ait Nouri. Doku unmarked for a moment, but the ball forward is cut out by Koulibaly, and the central defender will lumber forward now for Al Hilal, and it's wide towards Malcolm. He comes in field. Koulibaly heads out to the right, and he's still there, and then he tells his teammates, don't give me the ball up here.
Do you know what? That's just brilliant play again for Manchester City. He's running with the ball first of all, Koulibaly, then he plays it in, so there's 2 Al Hilal players. There's 7 Manchester City players that get back, and as he's looking up, he can't see anything, so in the end he just played it back. Again, what I talked about, they felt they lost that little bit of hunger and know-how and motivation. I feel like they've got it back now for sure. All 7 of those players racing to get back, giving Al Hilal no chance to get any kind of chance created from there.
Well, they're heading across for the cooling break towards this near side with 13 minutes to play in the first half here on Talk Sport. The temperature local time, 27 degrees Celsius at the moment, although it will be more with the humidity, which is well over 60%. So both sets of players taking on the fluids. We've got more action from the Club World Cup coming up later on tonight, and it's a really good tie as well. Real Madrid against Juventus. Kevin Hatchard and Dean Ashton will bring you that game over on Talk Sport 2. And then tomorrow the Women's Euros start. The opening game for us, Switzerland against Norway. The Swiss, the host nation. 8 o'clock kick-off with Adrian Durham, Joe Shannon and the former England striker Tash Dowie. The first game involving the home nations is 5 o'clock on Saturday. Wales against the Netherlands. That's on Talk Sport 2. Before France against England here on Talk Sport at 8 o'clock. And if you're a night owl, 2 o'clock on Saturday morning, it is Chelsea against Palmeiras from the Club World Cup with James Fielden, and Scott will be back on the late shift as well for that one. As we're watching on the monitor that goal again, and on another day there could have been 2 handballs given there.
There could have been. Watching it on the monitor, but they're not doing any action replays or slow motion. It's difficult to tell.
Well, they must have put something up in the stadium on the screens that we can't see, because the Al Hilal players clearly all believe that.
Yeah.
But they were all saying that at the time as well, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. And, you know, there can be an argument for it, but the referee's allowed it. It's not been... VAR must have looked at it. Just play on. That's the game. I mean, I think they realise they cannot afford to almost go 1-0 down against this Manchester City side. But you said just about 5 minutes ago, this is a good game. This is a good game. Honestly, they're really giving it... You know, they're playing better than Juventus did. I'm not necessarily saying they're a better side than Juventus, but they're giving Manchester City a much tougher ride. And we'll have to wait and see how it ends up. And now I personally think that only will City win this game but go all the way to the final. I hope I'm wrong, because I want Chelsea to go there. But really enjoyed watching City play, especially in that Juve game. And even now, it's only 1-0. The way they're passing the ball, the way they're working hard for each other, the way their little patterns of play, and Gundogan's getting forward, Erling Haaland's getting the chance, the 2 wide players look dangerous. You know, it's really good to see that City look almost like the side they were a few seasons ago.
Well, if they win, they'll stay in Orlando for the game against Fluminense, 8 o'clock on Friday. And that game will be live on the TalkSport network as well. And then there is the possibility, well, there will be a semi-final from this half of the draw on July the 8th. And it could be all English, but then again, it could be all Brazilian.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
So there's a lot to look forward to. And in the bottom half of the draw, well, we mentioned the game between Real Madrid and Juventus coming up later on tonight. Monterrey are the only non-European team. Of course, Sergio Ramos is involved with them, the Mexicans, and I'm sure they'll have big support for their game against Dortmund coming up tomorrow as well.
Yeah, it'll be massive support, wouldn't it? That's one thing you say about the teams outside of Europe. I think the fans have been superb. I think they realise the importance of this. They're up against the big money boys of Europe, and they want to get behind their team. That's not to say that the fans of City and Chelsea and all the other European sides don't, but you do feel it means a little bit more to the fans than the European fans and certainly the English fans.
Well, Saudi Arabia played Mexico in Arizona on Sunday, the CONCACAF Gold Cup, which is the CONCACAF region's equivalent of the European Championships. That's also taking place at the same time as this, and Mexico beat Saudi Arabia in the quarterfinals at the weekend. Of course, the Saudi Arabian team is missing all of the Al Hilal players who would usually be regulars, as Yacine Bono, who has made 3 really good saves so far, gathers a long ball played forward by Matías Núñez for Manchester City.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Normally the countries go ahead of the clubs in terms of priority for players, but Infantino has made this tournament the number 1 priority.
Yep, England under-21s didn't have Joe Bellingham, and
Liam
Delap as well, of course, for Chelsea, as Sabinho with a cross into the penalty area, volley towards goal by Jeremy Doku, but he rather hammered that into the ground, but it sat up nicely for Bono to make a comfortable save.
Yeah, it's a good chance that, wasn't it? Got to get a better connection on it. Bono, to be fair, is a very good goalkeeper. A simple save for someone like him, but a great opportunity. He's coming onto the ball. Just get a bit of a sweeter strike and pass it into the side of the net and give him no chance whatsoever, but it's a simple save in the end.
03717 223344 is the number to call if you want to speak to Paul Ross, either during half-time or at the end of this game. Of course, we must have a winner here tonight with extra time and penalties if necessary, and we do hope there's no weather break after the 2-hour delay during the Chelsea game.
Don't even say
at the
it,
weekend.
Don't even say it. Don't even think it.
It looks fairly clear, and the local weather reports, which of course I've been scrutinising very carefully, do suggest that everything will be okay. But there's going to be a card here for Manchester City. It was a rash challenge on this near side, right in front of the technical area. It was Al Harbi who was caught by Nunez, and Nunez is booked.
Michael Fish said there wouldn't be a storm back in the 80s. 7 Oaks became 1 Oak.
Yes, yeah, well, I don't think Michael Fish works at the Orlando Weather Bureau, does he? So, well, Nunez picks up a yellow card there, and City have picked up 1 or 2 cheap ones so far, which could be costly later on in the tournament.
Yeah, Reinders didn't need to do that. I don't think Nunez needed to go in with that kind of force. Just stay on your feet. Still learning that right back role, isn't he? He's a central midfielder, really, but Pep doesn't see him as that. And what he is a great athlete, and he's very quick. He can play that role.
Well, City, the highest scorers and the only 100%ers in the group stage. 13 goals and 9 points, and they've carried that form into this game, but they've met some stubborn resistance since the early goal from Bernardo Silva. Now Doku again. Reinders, square towards Diaz. Diaz with the high ball back towards Doku, but it's headed away by Cancelo. And Cancelo again with a good challenge this time on Doku. He's a player who came into this tournament, João Cancelo, without a huge amount of football behind him. Played only 2 of the last 11 games in the Saudi Pro League due to injury, and he's been given a real going over by Jeremy Doku so far.
Let me tell you, when you've been out for some time, the first game back you run on adrenaline, and then the next 2 or 3 you're breathing heavy, and the last thing you need is a Jeremy Doku running at you all the time. And he kind of stuck his leg out there inside the box, and if Doku was able to just dink the ball over him, he would have brought him down with a penalty, but he didn't. So decent tackle, but I just think it shows where he is, rather than allowing him and say, okay, run me down the outside. He kind of made the tackle, and for me that just shows a sign of tiredness.
Well, his first game back was Real Madrid, and I'm sure he was running on adrenaline during that game. Al Hilal collectively were doing that, which is why they played so well for that 1-1 draw, but they also drew 0-0 with Salzburg in the game they could have won, and then beat Pachuca, the Mexican side, 2-0 when they knew a victory would carry them through. And they've been hard to beat, and although Manchester City are leading this game, we've seen evidence of that so far as well, even with a team which is missing a number of their first choice players. Lodi filling in as a central defender tonight due to an injury to Hassan Tambakti on the training ground yesterday. And Al Hilal just looking to work the ball around here, but they're keeping the ball, but they're not really going anywhere with it.
No, but it's good football.
And Malcolm almost skipped away on the far side from Guardiola, but Doku has it now.
Yeah, they were nearly in there, weren't they? Again, they were very, very patient, passing it from one side to the other, and then quickly 1-2s, and he would have been in, Malcolm, in behind the Man City defence. But back to how you were now. City in control, on the ball, and now Hilal dropping deep.
And now Doku again. Infield to Ait Nouri, and Nunez has come in field to create the space for Savinho on his outside on the right. With 3 minutes to play in the first half on TalkSport. Manchester City leading Al Hilal by 1-0, heading through to the quarter-finals at the moment. And now Ait Nouri again with the opportunity to find Doku. He skips away from Malcolm, but it's all pretty narrow at the moment. Guardiola was forward there. Ruben Diaz Works it wide to the far side. But City collectively look very comfortable on the ball. They've just got that dash of pace and ingenuity from Doku on this near side, but he heads into a blind alley this time, and Al Hilal can try and bring it clear. And they're just playing for that one clear-cut opportunity at the moment to bring them back into the game. But good football from them again. And here is the opportunity, because Milinkovic-Savic has played in Malcolm down the left-hand side. Kanu in support. Kanu now towards the byline down the right. Needs a good cross, and it's Marcus Leonardo who heads it over the top. But it was an opportunity, and it was really well worked. But had that been Alexander Mitrovic on the end of that, I think he'd have scored. But Marcus Leonardo not quite as proficient in the air.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, it was difficult because he was cutting it back, and it can't really have a go at Kanu either, because if it had whipped it across, there was no Al Hilal player there. So it was the right thing to do to try and clip it back a little bit, but still we had a lot to do. But you're absolutely right. Mitrovic, I think, would have done a lot better, but how good was that move down the right hand side? We saw it just a couple of minutes ago where they were nearly in. This time they were in, got to the byline, cut back. Tell you what, City are very, very good, but they're not out of this, Al Hilal.
And now Bernardo Silva, right side of the penalty area, turns and shoots, blocked by Bono at the near post, headed away by Lodi. Now Savinho back towards Nunez. Just over a minute of normal time to play in the first half, but we have had the cooling break, so there will be at least a couple more minutes to add on. Now Reinders, right hand side of the penalty area, back towards Savinho again. And Al Hilal have pulled everybody back behind the ball now, including Marcus Leonardo. And we can hear Inzaghi barking out the orders. It's clipped in by Savinho, flicked on by Nunez, and Koulibaly just leant in there, almost led with his arm, which was dangerous inside the penalty area. But here is Al Harbi coming forward now on the counter-attack for Al Hilal, and what a ball from him, right to left to find Malcolm, who can break into the penalty area, comes inside and lofts the shot high over the top. But on the counter-attack again, Al Hilal looking dangerous.
Yeah, as you say, great ball from Al Harbi. He saw it, he realised City players were coming back, so he whipped it around the defence to the right hand side, and Malcolm on his left foot cuts inside, little deflection corner.
As we tick over 45 minutes, Al Hilal with their first corner here, and there will be a minimum of 5 more minutes. Not quite sure where they've come from. I suppose there was the 2 minutes after the goal went in.
Well, I think the rest enjoying this first half like we are.
Corner kick for Al Hilal, and they've really grown into this game the last 10 minutes or so. Ruben Neves is over this, but it's a poor delivery, swirls beyond everybody, and his Portuguese teammate Mateo Nunez will allow it to drift out of play.
Do you know what, I'm glad I didn't say it. I was just about to say, if they get a goal here before half time, and Ruben Neves, with the quality of the right foot he's got, could easily whip in a great ball. That was a shocker from him.
Neves with 11 assists in Saudi Arabian football this season, and they were runners-up to Al Ittihad, their big rivals from Jeddah. They've got Karim Benzema as their centre forward, Laurent Blanc their coach, Steven Bergwijn also a very fine player for them. They did the League and Cup double after Al Hilal had the clean sweep the previous year. But Jeddah very much outshining Riyadh in Saudi Arabia's 2 big football cities, with Al Ahly also winning the Asian Champions League. Now Savinho looking to hit the byline, fires in the cross, which was spilled by Bono, but he was fortunate there, it fell to a blue shirt, but it's quickly won back. Marcus Leonardo's lost it, and the flick there from Doku infield looking for Gundogan doesn't quite come off, and Al Hilal will try and get the ball away, and Kanu goes back towards Bono.
This is great football, isn't it? I love watching Manchester City in this type of form, but Al Hilal are playing well.
Al Harbi infield towards Al Dawsari, and now Milinkovic-Savic has got that physicality and the ability, and he works it wide to the far side, and Cancelo on towards Malcolm, who looks to be the danger man for Al Hilal. He comes in field. Kano will stride forward now and find Lodi. Al Harbi on his outside. Lodi maybe thought about the cross, but he was quickly challenged by Savinho. Neves a bit further forward now, finding Koulibaly, and once again it's worked wide towards Milinkovic-Savic. Back in field towards Malcolm. Milinkovic-Savic again, and he's got Cancelo wide on the right hand side, but he checks back in field to the left. But Al Hilal are playing the ball around here with a good deal of comfort. Can they find that perceptive pass? Now Koulibaly again, picking out Neves. 3 minutes of added time played here on TalkSport. The cross in from Lodi swung straight into the arms of Ederson.
Yeah, just a little bit of a waste that, wasn't it? Forcing it to see what he was trying to do, but in the end he wasn't able to whip it round, and it was a simple catch from Ederson. And City just looks so good going forward. I mean, I don't know how Savinho just a couple of minutes ago was able to get a cross in. He just gets that half a yard, whips it across. Bonu pats it out, and it could easily have fallen straight to Gundogan.
Now Doku streaking away again on the far side, but he catches Koulibaly as he came across, and it will be a free kick for Al Hilal. And we barely mentioned Erling Haaland, and I think that's credit to Al Hilal, because they've stopped the ball into him. I know it's gone wide and there's been danger in the wide areas, but it's not come down the middle.
Yeah, I do think sometimes, as beautiful as they are to watch, and I love watching Manchester City, I love everything about Pep Guardiola and the way he has sort of evolved as a coach, but I think there's also some times where Erling Haaland, being that big 6'4" centre forward, we're thinking, I'm isolated to Ruben Neves here, just get the ball in and I'm going to win this header.
And the back pass now towards Ederson from Nunez, and he will clip it out wide to the far side, and City will just have time for one more counter-attack. Well, they'll get the free kick because Malcolm catches Aït-Nouri, and it will be a free kick for City, wearing all white with the red and black sash across the front of the shirt, which is a real throwback for those of us who remember the 1970s. Now Savinho, and Reinders plays it wide towards Nunez again, and we have played the 5 minutes, and that is half-time. So Manchester City 45 minutes away from the quarter-finals of the Club World Cup, but it's not been entirely straightforward so far. They got the early goal bundled in by Bernardo Silva. They've also seen Yassine Bono make a clutch of fine saves, but Al Hilal have played well themselves, and they'll still believe they are very much in this game. Half-time, Manchester City 1, Al Hilal 0. Thank you, Paul. And Al Hilal have eventually come out for the second half. It's been another very long half-time here, and after the game we saw between Benfica and Chelsea on Saturday night into Sunday morning and seemingly beyond, Scott, I can't help feeling that if they'd just had a 15-minute half-time and not messed about with all of the individual introductions before the game, they could have got that game finished before the Storms.
Absolutely, it felt like that lasted about 3 days, that game, let alone 4 or 5 hours. But yeah, look, I mean, they're trying different things, and I can't remember if actually in that game where the kickoff was delayed because it took so long. I know that 2 of the games that I did, it did take a long time, and we didn't kick off till 5 minutes after the prescribed time. But yeah, look, we're past that now. We hope that won't happen. I think it will definitely be learned for next year in the World Cup, and let's see what happens in the second half.
Well, that half-time break was around 18 minutes, and it's Al Hilal who will get the second half underway, wearing all blue. Their team again is Bono in goal, Cancelo, Koulibaly, Al Harbi and Lodi, Al Dawsari and Neves, Kano, Milinkovic-Savic, Malcolm and Leonardo. City, Ederson in goal, Nunez, Diaz, Gvardiol and Aït-Nouri, Bernardo Silva, Reinders and Gundogan, Savinho and Doku supporting Haaland in attack. City in all white, save for the red and black sash across the shirt. Al Hilal wearing all blue, attacking the goal away to our right in the second half as Malcolm looks to wriggle away from the challenger like Nouri. He's got support from Cancelo on the outside here, but Malcolm may look to go all the way himself. Now lays it wide towards Cancelo, fires in the cross, there's confusion there. Malcolm's shot's blocked and the header is in. Marcus Leonardo equalises for Al Hilal within a minute of the resumption, and there are celebrations all around the stadium as the Saudi Arabians equalise. City never got started after half-time. There was confusion right across the back line, and Marcus Leonardo was there to nod the ball in at the far post. It is Manchester City 1, Al Hilal 1, and Pep Guardiola's team have had a rude awakening right at the start of the second half.
Well, physically they may be out there, but mentally it looks like they're still in the dressing room. Lots of players just not quite at it there. Ain't Nouri allowing Malcolm to come inside. Gundogan, who wasn't quite there in the position where he should have been. Guardiola allowing Malcolm to go down the outside. Then when the ball comes in, what is Edison doing? I mean, just catch it. It has come out, it's bounced around. Leonardo's reacted first. He's put it to the other side of the goal where Edison is. Said we had a game on our hands.
Well, it's game on now, 1-1. And City may be stung into action here, but Al Hilal, on the balance of play, will believe they're not flattered by that. Yes, Bono did have to make a number of fine saves during the first half, and City played some excellent football, but Al Hilal also had their moments, and it says a good deal about the City defending that the smallest player inside the penalty area scored with a header. And now Malcolm coming forward again now for Al Hilal. Down the right, he's got Cancelo in support, and he goes for goal against his former club. He blazes over the top, and he had players inside waiting for a tap-in.
I tell you what, City had better be careful. Al Hilal has certainly come out firing. And again, it's great play down the right-hand side. Malcolm seeing the run of Cancelo, and he's just seen the stars, hasn't he? He's got to shoot a cross goal. Inzaghi's not happy at all. But my goodness me, have they come out absolutely in fifth gear.
Well, Haaland chasing a ball here, but he's beaten to it by Neves. And now City have to do some more defending, because it's Al-Harbi who plays it forward on the far side, and there's a break into the penalty area and he just overruns it. But we've seen Al Hilal swarming all over Manchester City on both sides of the field at the start of the second half. 3.5 minutes played, Manchester City 1, Al Hilal 1. They drew with Real Madrid. They also picked up a point against Salzburg, and against their third European opponents in this competition. Once again, Al Hilal are giving a good account of themselves.
Well, it'll be interesting to know what
changes imminent for City.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not surprised. Even just in these first couple of minutes, he's not happy what he's seeing, Pep. He's been very proactive.
Nathan Ake is one of the players who is coming on. The City look to come forward here with Bernardo Silva, and it's worked back to Nunez. And now Gvardiol, Doku. And it does seem that any neutrals in the stadium are firmly behind Al Hilal, which is often the way, supporting the underdog, but they've not played like underdogs since half-time, as Nunez again. You can hear one or two boos around the stadium as City look to play keep ball around the Al Hilal penalty area. Now Gvardiol again. Wide to Doku. So much has come for City down the left-hand side throughout this game in the shape of the talented Belgian. Now Ait Nouri. Square towards Gvardiol, and Diaz again. Bernardo Silva makes the dash, but it's Nunez with the cross in. It's cleared away as far as Doku now. He pulls it back. Ait Nouri's shot is blocked by Milinkovic-Savic. It may have struck him on the arm, but it was very close to his body. And Marcus Leonardo will try and bring it clear for Al Hilal, but he loses out on this occasion. And there's a real intensity about the game now, because Manchester City have realised they've got to step things up.
Well, I think we said it in the first half, didn't we? They got a game on their hands, and I think they did realise that. It's just start of the second half is almost as if they've caught them cold, and it's unprofessional for that to happen.
Now a cross driven in, it takes a deflection off Al Dawsari and goes behind for a corner kick. There will be a triple change from Manchester City right at the start of the second half. We're watching a replay of Ait Nouri's ball in, which did strike Milinkovic-Savic on the arm, but there was no intent, and the arm was certainly not in a natural position. Corner kick here for Manchester City into that near post, headed away by Cano again. Back into the penalty area, brought clear now by Cancelo. He plays it down the centre, and Malcolm is away and clear here for Al Hilal. What an opportunity! He scored! Malcolm makes it 2-1 to Al Hilal, and the Saudi Arabians, with 2 goals in 5 minutes, have stunned Manchester City. One ball forward, right down the centre. Malcolm streaked away, kept his cool, and Manchester City on the verge of a real upset here. The Saudi Arabians have shocked them. It's Manchester City 1, Al Hilal 2.
And just looking at Pep Guardiola, he looks absolutely stunned by what he's seen in the first 6 minutes of his second half. Manchester City had the corner, and the ball came out, Reinders headed it back in, and suddenly the ball was played over the top. A wonderful pass to the outside of the foot, and Malcolm, well, no one was catching him. Dennis, have you got the composure? Edison, you don't have much to do. Can you make the save? He doesn't. It was a wonderful finish from Malcolm. Oh my goodness. We said what a game we've got. We certainly have now.
Well, it was Cancelo who played that ball with the outside of his right foot, curled it around the City defence, and Malcolm was away from the halfway line. And the Brazilian producing some real Brazilian flair there to finish. Now the changes for City. Gundogan is coming off. Nathan Ake and Akanji are also coming on, and City here have got to come to the party, because since half-time they've been lamentable.
I just don't get it. It's almost schoolboy stuff. And you come out in the second half and it looks like you're not really at it. We talked about in the first half, Al Hilal have given a good game and it's only 1-0. I'm just really surprised. I mean, tell you what, some team talk from Simone Inzaghi.
Well, he sent his team out with some real intent there, and now Manchester City must come from behind. Rodri has also come on as well. Ake, Rodri and Akanji replacing Nunez, Gundogan and Gvardiol. There may have been plan changes, but I think Rodri will just try and hold things together, and you just get the feeling that second goal may not have happened with someone like Rodri there to try and bottle things up down the centre. Now Doku. City behind for the first time in this Club World Cup. And whatever happens now, I think Al Hilal have proved their point, and some, as Cancelo challenges Doku, and it's gone behind for a corner.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you. I mean, at this moment in time, they are on course going towards the quarter-finals. But whatever happens, they've certainly given a great account of themselves for sure. I mean, what have you got now, City? And I, along with others, have bigged you up, thinking you're going to go all the way to the final. Are you going to get knocked out the first knockout stage?
Corner here from Bernardo Silva, and Haaland with a header. Ake's almost in, there he is, and Haaland is there to equalise, and City weren't behind for long. Erling Haaland has been anonymous for so much of the game, but he came to life in the 6-yard area, and Manchester City are back on level terms at 2-2.
Well, from Al Hilal's point of view, what a poor goal to concede. So soon, first of all, after going 2-1 up, and then from a set piece. It's a simple ball in. No one's really reacted too well, not from the defence's point of view anyway, but well done Manchester City, and well done Erling Haaland. You know, it ain't the prettiest goal he's ever scored, and won't be. But I tell you what, it's going to be a very important one if they go on and win this game and go all the way through to win this competition. Because Al Hilal, they've been so good in this second half. You make sure you do not concede, certainly not with a simple goal like that. But City have found a way. I said, what have you got? That's what they've got.
Well, they've got Erling Haaland, of course. He's scored 3 times now in this Club World Cup. His 34th of the season, but here's Malcolm streaking away again into the penalty area. Down he goes, caught by Diaz. It's a penalty to Al Hilal, straight from the kickoff. No, it's not. The referee gave the penalty, but now the flag's up and it's offside.
I cannot believe what I'm watching here. My goodness me, this is schoolboy stuff in many respects. Wonderful turn.
Oh, is he offside?
That's really close. I actually think at first glance he probably is just. But what is Ruben Diaz doing? He's in the box. Malcolm's running at pace. He's already shown what he's got with the 2-1 goal. He's dived in. Malcolm's nicked it in front.
Well, Juan Soto, the VAR official, is checking this. And this is a big call, of course. They've got the semi-automated offside. And they're looking at this now, and this is a massive call in the game.
Massive, but actually, they can't argue with this. This computer says no or yes.
Offside. And City escape.
Yeah, absolutely. What a shocking decision to go down like that from such a good player like Ruben Diaz. You do not go to ground diving across. And Malcolm's pace. He'll be thinking, well, hold on a minute, I can hurt them again for sure.
Doku with a shot now, but it took a deflection and is gathered at the near post by Bono. And Manchester City were behind for 3 minutes.
Well, they could have been behind again if it wasn't for that offside. It wasn't as if they were playing offside, so they got away with that for sure.
Now Rodri, always giving the ball away to Milinkovic-Savic. But he's quickly won it back, and that's his value, of course. Now Doku finding Haaland inside the penalty area, driven in low, and it's blocked by Ruben Neves. Now Rodri again with the cross. Neves on the end of that to clear. And Akanji will win it back, and now Reinders plays it wide to the far side. Slipped in towards Bernardo Silva, but it'll be cleared away. But then the clearance from Milinkovic-Savic has given the ball away to Doku. Doku's shot, again I think took a deflection, but this time it's straight into the arms of Bono. And the game's absolute chaos at the moment.
It's a great game to watch though, isn't it? And I'll tell you what, Nige, we didn't want the night to go on as the way it did at the Chelsea-Benfica game. I'm not sure if I mind the night going on watching this.
Well, at the moment we are heading for extra time. There must be a winner here this evening with 58 minutes played, but Manchester City have steadied themselves after that shock of 2 goals in 6 minutes for Al Hilal, the equaliser from Erling Haaland. But the game is still there to be won, and both teams will now believe they're capable of doing it. Now Diaz, square towards Rodri. An opportunity again for City to try and build, but it's quickly won back. Diaz again. And Savinho is looking to hug the touchline, but it's Aït-Nouri who has it now for Manchester City. Doku. Fluminense, of course, awaiting the winners, and at the moment they don't know who they'll be playing in the quarter-finals. But City looking to just create that angle again, but the ball in field from Savinho doesn't find Bernardo Silva, and Al Hilal will clear, and the game very quickly has resumed the pattern of much of the first half.
Yes, I was just about to say it was back to how it was really in the first half, where Al Hilal were dropping deep, trying to counter. Well, it's absolutely the right tactics. They've already shown how dangerous they can be on the counter, so why not play like that? But they also can play little patterns of play and hurt City that way. This is just a fascinating game.
It's a very different game to Inzaghi's previous match against Manchester City, a 0-0 draw, match day 1 of the Champions League for Inter this season, as Haaland scoops it into the penalty area here, looking for Bernardo Silva, and it's gathered by Bono. And that was a tactical masterclass from both coaches. on that night. A really good game, but it was 0-0. At the moment, I don't think either coach will be happy with the defending in the second half.
No, I mean, what I would say is I think Inzaghi will certainly be thinking, look, we're up against one of the best teams.
Here's Milinkovic-Savic with another ball forward here, and another opportunity here for Al Hilal. There's a challenge inside the penalty area from Akanji, and I think he won the ball. It was, I think, Al Harbi who was sprinting forward, the left back. He's still down inside the penalty area, but again, City were absolutely wide open by one pass.
Well, I talked about how in the Juventus game, and for most of that first half, it looked like how the City were the last 2 years ago. These 15 minutes in the second half are looking exactly how they were last season.
Now Nathan Ake, wide towards Doku. He waits for Ike Nouri on the overlap, but then plays it back inside to Rodri. Rodri can hit this, he does. It takes a deflection, and it's over the top for a corner. 61 minutes played, Manchester City 2, Al Hilal 2. It was Nasser Al Dawsari who was sprinting forward, not known for his goal scoring, and in the end it was a challenge inside the penalty area, but one that was well timed.
Needed to be, he was inside the box, it was a last ditch challenge.
Bernardo Silva with the corner, deeper this time, headed away by Koulibaly, volleyed back through the crowd by Rodri, but again Koulibaly was in the way of that, and Ike Nouri will go all the way back towards Edison, and Manchester City looking to keep the pressure on here. 62 minutes played on TalkSport. Manchester City 2, Al Hilal 2. It's been a fluctuating start to the second half. Now Bernardo Silva infield again towards Ike Nouri. Bernardo Silva whips in the cross over the head of Haaland, and it was Doku, who's maybe not known for his heading ability, who heads it about 15 yards wide.
I was just thinking that the way he rose there, I'm thinking, hold on, let's have a look. And then it did go about 15 yards wide, in fact probably even more than that.
And we're having another look at the offside against Malcolm, and it was Malcolm's shoulder which was offside, just about.
I think it was about an inch of his head as well. Literally no more than that. That was tight.
Milinkovic-Savic has been fouled here by Reinders, and it will be a free kick for Al Hilal. And they've found vulnerabilities here in Manchester City. They're looking to exploit them now every single time they get the ball forward, and there's so much room in behind that high line.
Yeah, there is. They do look vulnerable, don't they? And you do get the feeling that there's more goals in this game. I think as it could come from either side.
Neves with the free kick, and now Cancelo with the cross high to the far post. Koulibaly keeps it alive, almost came out to Kanu on the edge of the penalty area, and now Neves, but the flag's up for offside before Neves could let fly, but there was maybe half a chance in there for Milinkovic-Savic.
Yeah, I mean, the scoreline is 2-2 at the moment, and they'll be disappointed they were just offside. The penalty wasn't given. They'll be disappointed how they conceded that second goal against City, but Al Hilal will definitely feel they can go on and win this game for sure.
Well, Malcolm's coming off, which is slightly surprising. Cao Cesar is coming on, another Brazilian signed from Vitória Guimarães. Had a really good start when he arrived in January, but has had injury problems since. But he's back in the team, or back in the squad today following injury, and now he's got a big opportunity here. 2-2 the score, 19 minutes into the second half. As it's played square by Ruben Diaz, and now wide to the far side, and Savinho, Akanji, a City look to go ahead for the second time in the game, having come from behind at the start of the second half. If you've just joined us on TalkSport, they led 1-0 at half-time. 2 quick goals from Al Hilal, but that was quickly followed by an equaliser from Erling Haaland.
If you've just joined us on TalkSport, where have you been? Trust me, you have missed a very, very good game so far.
And now Doku with a cross into the penalty area, and it was Ruben Neves at full stretch. In fact, it was Renan Lodi, I should say, at full stretch to get the ball away, because that's the danger for Al Hilal. I don't think they can deal with the pace in the wide areas.
No, they can't. but then City can't deal with the pace. Really surprised that Malcolm has been taken off. I mean, I'd be thinking he must have picked up an injury, but the way he walked off, it didn't look like he was injured.
Well, it's a bit of a break for Al Hilal following this. They've got the Saudi Super Cup coming up in Hong Kong in the middle of August. But it was a regular theme last season. The coach was Jorge Jesus. His Reinders inside the penalty area, twisting and turning, trying to get the shot in, but it's Kano who breaks it up. Malcolm would rarely finish a game. Now White Nori finding Doku. Haaland now fires the cross in, but it's blocked by Koulibaly. The ground shook when they came together, and it will be a throw-in for Manchester City. 66 minutes played. 2-2 in Orlando. Doku coming forward again here. Delivers the cross in, looking for Haaland at the near post, but Kanu gets there first, lifts it onto the roof of the netting, and it will be a City corner.
Brilliant play again by Doku, isn't it? Just quick feet, getting into the box, crossing the ball. Good defending from Al Hilal, but City trying to get back to control the tempo of the game.
Corner kick taken by Bernardo Silva, an outswinger this time, headed away by Cancelo at the near post. Now White Nori, he was the last man, but he did have Rodri in support, which is a crucial difference. Now wide towards this near side, and Bernardo Silva, and it's Doku who takes over. Rodri clips it wide towards Bernardo Silva again, crossing opportunity, but it's Cal Cesar, who's not known for his defending, or certainly hasn't been in Saudi Arabia, who slides in to put the ball behind, and it will be a corner kick for Manchester City at the midpoint of the second half. 2-2 the score. Haaland looking to make a late run into the penalty area here towards the near post. He nearly wins it, but in the end there was some pushing going on. Cal Cesar was the player who went down, and it will be a free kick for Al Hilal.
Well, it was a better corner this time from Bernardo Silva. He missed the first man. Erling Haaland was running in there, but in the end deemed to have made the foul. I'll tell you what, Nigel, honestly, I've got no idea which way this is going to go.
No, there is so much pressure now for Manchester City, but there's also that vulnerability. Or do you give Al Hilal credit for the way they play?
You've got to give Al Hilal credit, but City shouldn't allow it to happen. If, you know, like myself and others, and even listening to Pep Guardiola after the game against Juventus, he said, yeah, you know, we haven't seen that since for a couple of seasons, and that's what I was saying in commentary at the time. But first half I thought was very good. It was only 1-0, but they were up against clearly a good side. The second half, they've been shocking defensively.
Great ball from Milinkovic-Savic, wide towards Al-Harbi, into the penalty area for Cal Cesar, but the cross-in doesn't find Marcus Leonardo, and it's cleared away by City up to the halfway line. Haaland trying to hold the ball up, but he goes down, but he's done well to find Bernardo Silva. Doku here with plenty of space on this near side, already into the penalty area, but in the end Koulibaly comes back and he wins the ball back without even going to ground. And now Cancelo on this near side for Al Hilal. 2-2 the score, and we are closing in on extra time as it stands here, but City keen to avoid that as Haaland tries to win it back from Renan Lodi, but it's Kano who steps in, and now the ball over the top again, looking for Marcus Leonardo, and he nearly got there. He then goes down under the challenge of Ruben Diaz, but he was looking for that.
I tell you what a wonderful ball that was in. Just whipped in behind Ruben Diaz, and he did get the ball, and then the man, it's not a foul for me, but he was again last ditch defending. And we're seeing City defensively now how they were last season, not 2 seasons ago.
Well, Marcus Leonardo looks to be in some pain here, and in the absence of Mitrovic, if he goes off, they will be pushing Milinkovic-Savic into the centre forward role, but they would also lose his ability in midfield, because at times he is running this game.
Yes, absolutely. And you know, Ruben Diaz definitely got the ball first, and it seemed to catch Leonardo about half a second later. So no, not in any way is it a red card, is it a foul. I'd say that Al Hilal will certainly be wanting Leonardo to be okay, because yeah, you're right, you know, it's the right piece, isn't it? It's a well, I suppose technically he's not a square peg in a square hole, because that's not necessarily his role, but he's done so well filling in for Alexander Mitrovic.
You're listening to the FIFA Club World Cup live on TalkSport, presented by DAZN. Sign up now at dazn.com to watch every game live and for free. And we have less than 20 minutes to play, and now we have the cooling break. And this is a very important moment for both coaches to get their players in. And already Pep Guardiola is out onto the pitch, grabbing his players to get them in as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and he's also gone straight up to Rodri as well and just said a few things to him. How important is he to this Manchester City side? A couple of times already he's just positioned himself in the right way, where Al Hilal have gone down the wing, cut the ball back, and yeah, the top players are like a magnet, and defensively he is absolutely brilliant like that. So no doubt about it, Pep Guardiola will be using this to say, come on, we need to do this, but also without the ball we need to put more pressure on. It feels like, you know, the high line's there, and where the pressure was on in the first half and they weren't able to get out at all, now they are, and the high line is just, well, they can time the run and time the pass at will.
Well, the fourth official's been having words with Inzaghi and Bono, so I'm not sure what's been going on there. And Inzaghi just having words with Renan Lodi as well. If you've just joined us on TalkSport, Manchester City led this game for a long time. The early goal from Bernardo Silva, but two quick goals from Marcus Leonardo and Malcolm at the start of the second half put Al Hilal ahead by 2-1, but for only 3 minutes. The corner kick was scrambled in by Erling Haaland, and City were back level, but since then it has been a really even game. Both teams have had opportunities to go back into the lead. Al Hilal have not taken a step back, and Manchester City are having to play really well here to try and see off the challenge of the Saudi Arabian side. Don't forget, another big game coming up later on today, 8 o'clock, Real Madrid against Juventus in the round of 16 with Kev Hatchard and Dean Ashton. And then tomorrow it is Switzerland against Norway, the start of the Women's Euros with Adrian Durham, Joe Shannon and Tash Dowie. Spain against Portugal. Spain, of course, the world champions. That's a good game coming up on Thursday on TalkSport 2 at 8 o'clock. And then a busy day on Saturday. It begins 2 a.m. Chelsea against Palmeiras in the quarter-finals of the Club World Cup. And then Wales play the Netherlands on TalkSport 2 at the Women's Euros at 5. At 8 o'clock here on TalkSport, it is France against England. And we will see how the quarter-final and semi-final lineup shakes down in the Club World Cup, but there'll be extensive coverage across the TalkSport network. The final on the 13th of July in New York. Ike Nouri now firing in the cross, looking for Bernardo Silva. Appeals for offside from Al Hilal, but nothing given. And it's gone behind for a corner kick. Manchester City at times in this tournament have looked for shoo-in for at least a semi-final place, but not at times during the second half here.
No, there's no guarantee they'll be in the quarter-final right now.
Bernardo Silva looking for Haaland with a header. Bono misses it, and the header from Doku over the top from deep inside the 6-yard area. Haaland causing the problems again from the set piece, and Doku somehow put it over the top.
He just gets a little bit of a nudge from Joao Cancelo, and that's what puts him off, but he's got to make sure he gets there first and it doesn't put him off, and in the end it kind of comes off his shoulder and goes off and over the bar. But you're right, Erling Haaland, I watched just a replay of the equaliser. He's the one who sort of won the header, not cleanly, but Koulibaly wasn't able to react quickly enough, and it fell, and Haaland went in there first and scored. And again there, just looking very dangerous. At times, don't be afraid to get the ball in the box. Open play as well as set pieces.
Now it's played forward by Neves, who's continuing that role as the quarterback, deep-lying quarterback, in the middle of the back four. And now he pings it forward again, looking for Marcus Leonardo. They've always got that ball in behind for the pace of Marcus Leonardo. But here is Reinders for City. at the other end coming forward now. He's been impressive at times, but he heads into traffic here, and it's Cancelo who comes away with the ball, and Reinders has stayed down on the edge of the penalty area. Cancelo knows that Marcus Leonardo was offside for a moment. I think he may have been when the ball was played as well, but it's guided back by Ruben Diaz towards Ederson.
Still, he's having to go to fifth gear, wasn't he? And just got there first. They're always in with the chance, Al Hilal. It's Man City controlling the possession, but they do look dangerous when they counter-attack quickly.
15 minutes to go. 2-2 the scoreline in Orlando. And it could be extra time unless either side can find a goal soon, as City come forward now. They'll have a corner kick. It was fired in by Savinho and blocked by Renan Lodi. So far, Yasin Bono has made 8 saves in the game. Ederson hasn't made any, but they both conceded twice. Corner kick from Bernardo Silva. Looking for Ruben Diaz. Koulibaly is there to head the ball away. Cal Cesar almost wins it back. I think he catches Ait Nouri there, but the referee allows play to continue because it spins into the path of Doku. Now Ait Nouri, wide towards Doku again, and it's square to Rodri on the edge of the penalty area. Tries to take one of those no-look balls wide towards Doku again, but maybe just a bit too much on it, and it's gone behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, I mean, that one wasn't on. It was only 25 yards out, and it's a straight ball, so it has to be absolutely weighted perfectly. And Joao Cancelo did well, actually. He dropped off and allowed, or didn't allow, Doku to get in behind. Tell you what, you know, when City went 1-0 up and seemed to be in control for most of that first half, if you'd have told me it'd be 2-2 with 13 minutes plus injury time to go, if you'd have told me before the game it'd be 2-2 with 13 minutes to go, I wouldn't have believed you.
Now Cal Cesar, he's been cleaned out by Ait Nouri on this near side, and it will be a free kick. Plenty of Al Hilal supporters around the technical area, just behind that technical area, right by where that foul took place, and they are the more vocal fans in the stadium at the moment, those supporting the team from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Manchester City 2, Al Hilal 2. It's a tale of the unexpected in the Club World Cup, but at the moment Al Hilal are meriting this situation. They've got a free kick. Neves and Cal Cesar are over it, and it's Neves who flights it high into the penalty area. Oh, a free header from Mohamed Kano, and he puts it wide, and he should have scored.
Wow, what a chance that is! And an unbelievable ball from Ruben Neves. David Beckham at his best would have been proud of that. And he's got him behind, and there's no one anywhere near him. It's a free header, so then can you get proper connection on it? The only thing I can say maybe slightly is he feels like, because he's a little bit sort of ahead of the goal, he's got to generate his own power rather than just precision, and by doing that he loses the precision completely. But what an opportunity to get a third goal.
Well, Mohamed Kano is one of those players that Al Hilal often rely on. He's one of those you can bring in and fill in a number of areas. He's not known for his goal scoring, and again the absence of Aleksandar Mitrovic has really been felt there. Doku with a terrific run into the penalty area, breaks to Ait Nouri on this near side, but a combination of Koulibaly and Cancelo break it up. Cal Cesar unable to keep the ball in play on this near side, and it will be a throw-in for Manchester City. 11 minutes to play. This game's on a knife edge. Who would have thought that? Now Rodri, wide towards the far side. Akanji. Ruben Diaz. We've seen City come up with the winning goal in so many situations over the years, and they really need one here. Ait Nouri with the cross in. And it's cleared away by Neves. And then Savinho plays it square, then gets it back. Ait Nouri now, 25 yards out. Doku runs offside, so has to check back. Ake again, wide towards Akanji. And Bernardo Silva will take on Al Harvey, and it's back again towards Akanji. But City here are having to work very hard to try and create the opening, but it's a test of concentration, weary bodies and minds for Al Hilal as we go into the final 10 minutes. Bernardo Silva coming in field. It's square towards Nathan Ake. Ike Nouri again. And now Diaz, 25 yards out, and City go back to where they started, with Savinho wide on the right-hand side. He crosses in looking for Reinders, but it's headed away by Neves, and Neves will have the opportunity to clear the ball away. He finds Lodi. Lodi goes down looking for the free kick, doesn't get it, and here is Bernardo Silva fighting Rodri. Square towards Ike Nouri. Lodi is back on his feet, unsurprisingly. Now Doku on this near side. Ake again. And City have held the ball here for a good 2 minutes, but Al Hilal are refusing to yield at the moment. But maybe now, as Marcus Leonardo just gets a toe in, but City have it back, and it's attack against defence at the moment. Reinders on the right, swings in the cross, looking for Haaland, who beats Koulibaly in the air, but it's over the top onto the roof of the netting.
Yeah, Koulibaly did just enough there. City playing well, dominating the game again in terms of possession. Then they get the ball in the box. And Koulibaly, even though it comes off, well, first it's him, then Haaland. It's really good defending. He makes sure he doesn't allow Haaland to get that header at the far post.
Defensive change now for Al Hilal, and they're bringing on one of their new signings, signed from Al Nassr, Ali Lajami, central defender. And it's Mohamed Kano, the midfielder, who's going off. So I do wonder if they'll release Ruben Neves more into a midfield role here, because Lajami can fill in as the third central defender. That was speculation before the game.
Yeah, I mean, you think so. And Ruben Neves, he's so good on the ball. Well, you just want him a little bit further forward. I think he's done very well defensively, actually, at times when he's been in that position, but further forward means you can affect the game going forward.
But Pep Guardiola called this. He said this game was no foregone conclusion, and Al Hilal have got some good players, and they've all shown up.
Well, you know, I did the Real Madrid game against them, and absolutely they deserved the draw. So I do think City were a better side than Real Madrid, and I did think that City would win this, not easily, not like they did against Juventus, but you know, Al Hilal have been superb, they really have.
But City still have the opportunity to win this before extra time. 7 minutes to play, 2-2 the scoreline. Doku on this near side will take on Cesar, shrugs him off, but Cancelo is in the way, and it will be another corner kick for Manchester City.
He's so strong, isn't he? As well as quick and skillful and two-footed. He just shrugged Cesar off there. And again, City now are really knocking at the door.
They've had a flurry of corners in the second half. Bernardo Silva will take this. Another outswinger headed towards goal. It's off the post. Haaland, no, off the line. That's an incredible clearance right on the goal line. Lajami, his first touch, stops Erling Haaland scoring what could have been the winning goal.
Well, it's just incredible defending. You know, it won't go down as a goal, but it's as good as a goal. Brilliant reading of it. It's a good header that had Bono just flummoxed, really, that hit the post. Then Haaland reacts quicker, not quite able to get proper connection on it, but brilliant defending.
Now Doku again. Al Hilal rocking for a moment here. Bernardo Silva coming forward. Wide towards Doku. Low cross into the penalty area. Cleared away at the near post by Lajami. And Erling Haaland has scored one goal tonight, and he'll just be wondering how on earth he didn't score another. Now Ake. Wide towards Doku again. He's allowed to run by Rodri, and then the shot pinged in and turned over the top by Yassine Bono, and it was a good strike from Ruben Diaz.
You know what, you're kind of thinking, well, if your centre-half's going to shoot from there, then Al Hilal will be happy, but it was a really good strike. It was on target. The only problem for Diaz that it was pretty much straight at the keeper. Couldn't do anything else other than tip it over though, such was the ferocity of the shot.
Corner kick for Manchester City towards Haaland, who heads it down over the head of Akanji though at the far post, and Lodi will clear, but it's quickly blocked by Savinho. Savinho into the penalty area, has support from Akanji. Now Bernardo Silva. Akanji now with a crossing chance, in low to the near post and blocked by Lodi. And it's all out of attack now for Manchester City with 4.5 minutes to play. 2-2 on TalkSport.
Yeah, all City now, isn't it? I'd say a good 10 minutes really. We haven't seen too much of Al Hilal going forward, and now they're very much on the back foot. Can they hold on to half-time? Player down already.
I'm just watching a replay again of the header off the post, and then Lajami keeping out the shot. City were convinced it had crossed the line, but goal line technology did not buzz. Corner kick for City again. Diaz flicking on. Haaland was there, and he almost ran it into the net, but it was gathered by Bono on the line.
Well, there's no doubt about it. Al Hilal are struggling to deal with City in set pieces. So, you know, to be fair, City aren't afraid, but don't be afraid just to get it in there. It's dangerous every single time they've beaten the first man and the ball's gone in the box.
And now Al Hilal look to come forward with Cancelo. City have had 21 shots on goal, 13 on target. Al Hilal have had 2 shots on target and they've both gone in. But they had 9 efforts on goal, in fairness to them.
That's clinical for you.
And the corner count is 13-1 in City's favour, but Al Hilal would argue in the second half they've had clear-cut opportunities in addition to the 2 goals, and that header from Kano, if that had gone in, things could be very, very different. Guardiola, we can see on the monitor, just puts his head in his hands as that opportunity for Haaland comes to nothing. And change has been made by Al Hilal here, and it's Mutab Al-Harbi who is going off along with João Cancelo, and one of the players coming on is Ali Al-Balahi, who is a central defender, and Hamad Al-Yami is also coming on, and he's a right back. He's very much the backup right back behind Cancelo, but he's had opportunities due to Cancelo's injuries in the second half of the season. And Al-Balahi, 35 years of age, also comes on. He's won 13 major honours in Asian football with Al Hilal. And it's slightly strange that he wasn't started tonight in the absence of Altan Bakhti, but Inzaghi choosing to go another way. But they're now playing Neves in a 5-4-1 formation now, slightly higher up, but at the moment everyone's back for Al Hilal anyway, with 90 seconds of normal time to play. Doku drives in the cross, blocked by Calcazar. Corner number 14 for Manchester City.
Well, they look dangerous every time they get the ball in the box, but I just wonder whether they'll do something a little bit different. Again, I wouldn't. The next goal wins it for sure.
Bernardo Silva will take this. An outswinger. Bonu comes. He doesn't deal with it conclusively, but it's cleared away now by Al Hilal. But unlike before, the balls out of defence haven't really got much purpose for them. And it's cleared away, but City quickly have it back here with Rodri. Now Ake. In the last 10 minutes or so, Al Hilal have barely crossed the halfway line. And now Savinho looking to attack Lodi into the penalty area, back to Akanji. His cross though was blocked, and Lodi will just look up and try and play a ball forward now into the path of Marcus Leonardo, who gets it out of his feet and plays a good ball in field towards Neves. He quickly sweeps it wide towards Calcazar, and Al Hilal are moving forward now down the right hand side. Calcazar into the penalty area, went for glory, went for the curler, and he had better options inside.
But brilliant football again, the way they counter-attack with pace, precision. It's a wonderful ball, you have to say, from Ruben Neves, but great play from Lodi in the first place.
And I tell you what, they just feel that, yes, they've been on the back foot for the last 10, 15 minutes, but they definitely feel they can hurt this City side on the counter-attack.
And we are into 6 added minutes here. 2-2 the scoreline. Marcus Leonardo has gone down. I think he's got cramp.
I'm not surprised. Wouldn't be surprised if half the Al team went down. So difficult to play against this City side, but they're doing so well.
Well, at the moment, Pep Guardiola is deep in conversation with Pep Lijnders, his new assistant. Now a ball forward towards Aït-Nouri, but a good covering challenge on the ground from Koulibaly. Wins it back. Milinkovic-Savic down the line for Al-Yami. Fresh legs from him. Back in field towards Milinkovic-Savic, but his first touch just betraying him. And City can bring it forward now with Akanji. Wide again towards Savinho. He'll attack the penalty area to try and go beyond Lodi, but Lodi, good defending from him. He just shoves Savinho out of play, just leaving him over the byline, and it's a goal kick.
It's brilliant defending, it really is. You know, so late on, he must be very, very tired, and yet still was able to use his pace and strength and all the football knowledge. And looking at the picture of him, he is breathing very heavy indeed.
Although Al Hilal do play in temperatures often in excess of this, but it's, I think, fair to say they don't often play against teams of Manchester City's quality week in, week out.
You've hit the nail on the head there.
But they've stuck with it, and in the 92nd minute it's 2-2. Now Marcus Leonardo fouling Ake. Does he? No. Ake thought he'd been fouled. He picked the ball up and he's been done for handball.
It's good refereeing again, you have to say. Whether it was a foul or whether it wasn't, play to the whistle. And they thought, okay, this time a City player trying to referee the game, and the referee said, no, I didn't blow the whistle. You picked the ball up, that's handball. And now Al Hilal, with 3.5 minutes to go, have a chance to whip a ball in where exactly the same position that Ruben Neves created a chance for Cannon.
Free kick. Neves is over it. Swept into the near post. Headed away by Ake this time. Not a good delivery though. And it was well read by the City defence. And then Doku runs it out of play. Inzaghi quick to field the ball. He wants to get on with things here. He can maybe sense a winning goal. Or possibly he doesn't fancy extra time. I don't think anyone does really. Certainly on the field, well, but it's been a really good game.
It's been a great game. I think what he realises is, you know, as I said earlier, next goal wins it. So, yeah, hurry up if you can.
Al-Yami with the long throw into the near post. It's cleared away, not conclusively. Bernardo Silva with a clearance which was up rather than away. But now Savinho on the far side, challenged by Lodi, fouled by him. And it will be a free kick with 2.5 minutes of added time to play. Lodi is down, Savinho is down. And we are heading for extra time here as it stands. Manchester City looking to press once again. In many ways they've dominated long spells, but you wouldn't begrudge Al Hilal extra time on their performance, both defensively in the way they've caused City problems when they've had the ball, as Marcus Leonardo looks to bring the ball out here. He claims he was body checked by the referee, but the referee waves away the appeal, and I do think he was looking for it. Now Rodri. He's back towards Rodri again on the edge of the penalty area, and here is Ake. Just over 90 seconds of added time to play on TalkSport. Manchester City 2, Al Hilal 2 the scoreline. Doku on this near side, coming in field, flights him across, looking for Haaland, headed away at the far post by Al Balahi. And now Savinho again. Rodri looks absolutely shattered. Now Rodri. Back towards Ruben Diaz. Bernardo Silva, he comes in field, he'll think about the shot, he hits it left-footed, it's deflected and into the arms of Bono, and we have a minute of added time to play.
and that could easily have deflected. Aït-Nouri was the furthest one forward, but in the end, straight to Bono. What a kick out that was.
And Calcazar plays the ball in field towards Milinkovic-Savic. And now Al-Yami, there's a player over here. It's Marcus Leonardo into the penalty area. Just holds on to it, then goes for goal. Tried to be very precise, and it's deflected behind, and it will be a corner for Al Hilal at the end of added time.
As Inzaghi claps his keeper, what a ping out that was. Again, 2-3 quick passes. Suddenly, Leonardo's in the box. First of all, he's just got to have a shot, and then he just basically kicks it straight at Akanji.
Well, I think he knew everybody else was offside because he delayed. But it was an opportunity.
I think he also realised how tired he was.
Yeah.
He wasn't able to move his feet quickly.
Corner kick in the 96th minute. Whipped in by Neves, fisted away by Ederson. The referee has the whistle to his lips, but there's still time for Doku here to bring it forward for Manchester City. He's challenged and he's lost the ball, and that is it. The end of 90 minutes. And we are heading to extra time in Orlando. It is finished. Manchester City 2, Al Hilal 2. City disappointed. The game ended with them on the counter-attack. Pep Guardiola has now gone right to the centre of the field to berate the referee for his decision to end the game. But we played the 6 minutes of added time, and now it seems Pep Guardiola's trying to referee the match.
I mean, the referee, I have to say, I quite like his style. He's let things go. Pep Guardiola's not happy. Doku was definitely brought down, but the 6 minutes are up. It was over the 6 minutes, and the referee blew his whistle. Can't argue with that. I mean, I suppose what he could argue with is a yellow card, because he did bring him down. So yes, okay, you're not going to be able to go on and maybe get a goal because the time has run out, but pretty sure that was a foul and a yellow card.
Thank you, Paul. 2 changes for Manchester City, as you say. Erling Haaland has gone off along with Gianni Reinders, and it's Rayan Cherki and Omar Marmoush who have come on. Marmoush, the Egyptian international, who played so well following his move from Eintracht Frankfurt in January, and Rayan Cherki, the 21-year-old prodigy from Lyon, who signed just before the Club World Cup. 12 goals and 20 assists in French football this season, and of course he scored against El Ain during the group stage for Manchester City. But 2-2 the scoreline. Al Hilal attacking the goal away to our left in the second half, or in extra time I should say, the first period, and Pep Guardiola pulled everybody into a huddle in the gap between normal time and extra time. He's clearly motivated to win this competition.
Well, you don't want to, certainly don't want to be knocked out at the round of 16 stage, and you don't want to be knocked out as well, with the greatest of respect, to Al Hilal. But we've always said all along, this is a really good side they're up against, and it's been a really good game.
Now Cherki, first opportunity for him to try and work some magic on this near side, the City right, and he clips it into the penalty area, looking for Marmoush, who almost kept it alive for Bernardo Silva, but it's hammered away by Koulibaly. But now Cherki again into the penalty area beyond Lodi, fires it right across the face of goal, and it strikes Koulibaly on the far post and bobbles behind for a corner.
That's brilliant play from Cherki, isn't it? Exactly what you want from your substitutes, to come on, make an impact. Great driving run into the box. No one is allowed to touch him because they know they'll give away a penalty. In the end, it was good defending just to get the ball away.
The corner was played short towards Cherki. Now Bernardo Silva again. Cherki's cross into the penalty area, not cleared by Koulibaly. There's an Al Hilal player on the ground who blocked it. The second shot is also blocked. Now Ake inside the penalty area. Doku coming inside. His left-footed curler takes a couple of deflections, headed away by Ruben Neves, and in the end it's all rather untidy from Al Hilal, but they hammer the ball to safety up towards Marcus Leonardo, who is not moving particularly well at the moment, the lone striker for Al Hilal, as City have made a quick start to extra time as Doku comes forward again here, infield towards Cherki on the edge of the penalty area, and the ball forward is blocked by Al-Yami. And now an opportunity for Calzazar to try and break for Al Hilal, but it was all on his own. But the clearance from Ake only finds Milinkovic-Savic, and now Neves has got the opportunity to play in Lodi. Terrific ball from him into the penalty area. Lodi drives the shot in, and it's blocked at the near post by Ruben Diaz, and it goes behind for a corner.
Well, I don't know how he's got the strength to actually make that lung-busting run again, but what a pass from Ruben Neves, just in between the two Manchester City players, with it curling into Lodi's path. But still, a driving run from him this time, and well, now they've got the corner. Can they do anything with this?
Al Hilal corner. Neves is over this once again. It's in towards that near post area and headed in! Kalidou Koulibaly makes it 3-2 to Al Hilal. A towering header from the former Chelsea man, and Manchester City are absolutely stunned from the set piece. And once again, they face elimination from the Saudi Arabian team in the Club World Cup. Manchester City 2, Al Hilal 3.
Well, Edison just shake of the head, can't believe what he's seeing. We're seeing pictures of the Manchester City fans, can't believe it either. Look, there's still plenty of time for City to come back into this game and even just take it to penalties, which I'm sure is what they'll take now. But this Al Hilal side showing just great character. It's a wonderful ball in from who else but Ruben Neves. Edison looks to come out, he doesn't. And in the end, Koulibaly gets in between two Manchester City players. It's Ruben Diaz and Nathan Ake, two of your three centre halves. It's a wonderful leap. Edison's got no chance. Can City come back again?
Well, they're getting fabulous money in Saudi Arabia, there's no doubt about that. But we've seen here tonight, they've not gone to a retirement home, and they've come back to the world stage, and they've come back to play Al Hilal.
Absolutely. They've been really impressive. Look, I don't think this is a game that City deserve to lose, but it's also a game that Al Hilal have done so well, first of all, to hold on to City's coattails in the first half and strike the start of the second, not once but twice. They've done really well, so well. I've been so impressed with them.
And it's an Al Hilal team without their two main attacking talents, Mitrovic and Al Dawsari.
Absolutely.
There's Koulibaly, a central defender, who's put them ahead. City look to respond again. Plenty of time left in the game, of course. Calzazar, though, wins it back on the far side, and now Al Hilal have got something to hold on to. But can they do it for the whole of extra time, or can Manchester City find a way once again? Now Akanji. Of course, they took Haaland off at the start of extra time. Marmoush is now the main striker, supported by Shirky. Ake now, 30 yards out. Wide towards this near side again. And Akanji. Now Savinho. Across into the penalty area. Headed away by Al-Balahi, who's got the captain's armband. At the age of 35, he's now in a situation where Al Hilal are on the verge of one of their greatest ever results. This is a team which has won the Asian Champions League on 4 occasions, 19 Saudi titles, 11 Kings Cups, which is their national cup competition. But if they beat Manchester City here, that puts everything on an entirely different plane for them.
Oh, 100%. 100%. After what we saw again in the Juventus game, City's so strong, looking like they could score 6 or 7. If they're able to beat this City side, why can't they go all the way?
Well, we could have a quarter-final Al Hilal against Fluminense, which absolutely nobody predicted.
That'd be a coup and buster, wouldn't it?
Absolutely, but there's still plenty of time here for City. 7 minutes into the first period of extra time, and they've dominated the game since they went behind, but now they've given the ball away, and the fresh legs of Al Yami will bring it forward here for Al Hilal, and he fancies a run himself down the right-hand side, and he comes in field. He's got support from Milinkovic-Savic, who dinks it further wide, looking for Marcus Leonardo, who'd held his run. But in the end, City have it back. but there's still that threat on the counter-attack from Al Hilal, and that is what makes this such an intriguing game. And Inzaghi at the moment is almost playing as a left winger for Al Hilal. There's not much room down there in the technical areas, and he's doing much of his work a yard inside the pitch.
Yeah, he did that for Inter as well, didn't he, on several occasions.
Now Akanji for City on this near side. 98 minutes played. Al Hilal lead 3-2. Savinho goes down and he's got the free kick. He's been caught. And Phil Foden about to come on. I wonder where he'd gone.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? After all the substitutions that Pep's made, it's only now he's bringing on Phil Foden. Still not 100%
because at this stage,
trusting him,
he
clearly.
can't have thought, you know, this is a game where we can afford to leave people out. This is a game they've got to come back and fight to win.
It's a knockout game. Lose this and you're out. Against a team that everyone will be saying, how on earth did you lose to them? Now, can't say that with too much disrespect, because we talked about even in the first half this, we've got a game in our hands, but they should not be losing to Al Hilal.
But they've still got time here. Bernardo Silva over the free kick, which is much better than the corner down the right hand side. We've had some shock results so far in this Club World Cup. This will top anything. Bernardo Silva, it's very deep, it's blocked though by Bono. It was Rodri coming in at the far post, and Bono leapt to keep it out and then goes down rubbing his knee.
Well, I think it's gone down as slight as the contact, and he's going to try and kill as much time as possible. Got a little bit lucky there. It was a good ball to the far post, and he didn't get on it. And if a proper header had come back in, he would have been out the game for sure. And the clock is ticking though. What can City do? Struggling to try and open them up now in open play, and relying a little bit on set pieces.
And this is an Al Hilal team who did not sweep all before them this season in Saudi Arabia. As Bernardo Silva comes off.
Oh dear.
In fact, it's Rodri. It's not Rodri. It's Phil Foden has come on. Is it?
I think Rodri has gone off.
Rodri has come off, which is.
Hope he's okay.
Yes, absolutely. We've just given the information that it was another player. Maybe that's the information that City had originally given, and then Rodri said he's had to come off here. But we played 100 minutes, and the incredible story from Orlando at the moment on Talk Sport is that Al Hilal lead Manchester City 3-2. They've led them twice in this game. Now Savinho coming forward again on this near side, back towards Shirky. Shirky's got some support. It's played inside, and in the end City will win it back, and Diaz will go all the way back to the halfway line as Pep Guardiola stands. It was Rodri who went off, and I cannot believe that that was tactical, because he only came on in the early stages of the second half.
Well, the only thing I'd say is they are chasing the game clearly, and maybe he feels they don't need a holding midfielder. I'd suggest they do, because the counter-attacks they threaten them, but it's an extra attacker for sure. I do hope it's not an injury.
Now Doku coming forward now, back towards Diaz. And it's no surprise, or maybe no coincidence, that City's best performance so far came against Juventus with Rodri in the side. The most convincing performance. Now Doku, wide towards Savinho. Savinho with the cross, high towards the far post. Foden was waiting for it, headed away by Koulibaly. Al-Yami then leaps to head the ball away. Calcazar will try and win it back from Ake, but City do have a throw-in. 101 minutes played on Talk Sport. Manchester City facing elimination here from the Club World Cup, trailing Al Hilal 3-2. Another move breaks down, but it's recovered by Ake. And now Shirky looks to work it wide to this near side. It's slipped into the penalty area, and there were so many blue shirts there, and it's hoofed away by Lodi. And it does seem at the moment that every neutral in the crowd is willing Al Hilal on.
Yeah, and he's almost given a celebration as if the final whistle went.
Bit early for that, as it's sliced behind by Lajami from Foden's cross, and it will be a corner kick here for Manchester City. He trailed 3-2 with 2.5 minutes to play in the first period. City with 28 attempts on goal. The corner into the penalty area takes numerous deflections. The last one was off Milinkovic-Savic, and it's all the way through towards Bono. And the referee is encouraging Al Hilal to get on with things here. The City have it back again with 2 minutes to play in the first period. Now Bernardo Silva jogging forward with the ball. Everybody thought it would be a repeat of the Champions League final from 2 years ago. City against Inter in the quarter-finals. At the moment, it is Fluminense against Al Hilal.
Let's see if they can break this stubborn side down, but at the moment it's just pass.
Now Shirky with the cross in, looking for Foden! Brilliant volley from Phil Foden! He stepped off the bench and he's rescued Manchester City with a moment of absolute brilliance. A far post volley to guide the ball low into the net, and Manchester City are back in this game once again. 3-3.
And that's what they needed to do, not just pass. Look for the forward pass. You need the forward run to do it first, and Phil Foden made it. We're talking about how is he only coming on now, and what's he like in training right now? Why is Pep not putting that faith into him? But it was a brilliant run, and it was a wonderful ball from Jerky. Just over the defence, but still he had a lot to do. Watching the ball, and a wonderful touch. It is a superb first-time touch, giving the keeper no chance whatsoever. It's a fantastic cross. It's a brilliant finish. And no idea still which way this game's going to go.
No, but City are in the ascendancy once again. Foden hurt himself. I think he may have been caught by Al Yami as he put that ball in, but he didn't just volley it, he guided that volley with a really silky touch into the one part of the goal that Bono wasn't covering.
He had no chance. I was just saying immediately before there, can't just pass. There's got to be something forward going on. But it does take that forward run. And that's what Phil Foden did. It was an inch perfect ball, and it was just a wonderful first-time finish.
We're into a single minute of added time at the end of the first period. 3-3, City coming forward again here. Savinho's cross is deflected behind, and it's a corner kick. It was Nasser Al-Dawsari who sent the ball behind. Shirky plays it short to Doku. Doku curls it high to the far post, headed away by Lajami. Al Yami will just look to get this ball clear, plays it long, looking for Cal Cesar. He flicks on for Marcus Leonardo. That's intelligent play from Al Hilal, and Marcus Leonardo has been cleaned out by Akanji. No need to make that challenge there, and it's a yellow card.
It's brilliant play from him, brilliant hold-up play. First of all, he's brought it down, making sure that City can't nip in there, and then he's gone past Akanji, and Akanji has just lost his head a little bit. Just fantastic forward play, keeping the ball, bringing the foul. Defender gets the yellow card, gives your team a bit of breathing space.
Well, Akanji has been shown that yellow card, and the first period of extra time is over here on TalkSport. Both teams scoring. Koulibaly giving Al Hilal the lead once again with a thunderous header from a corner kick to make it 3-2 to Al Hilal, but Phil Foden stepping off the bench with a quite brilliant volley to equalise a minute before the end of the first period. And Scott Minto, as you say, it is impossible to call which way this game is going.
Do you know what a game. People talk about this Club World Cup and it hasn't been very exciting, or it won't be very exciting. I'm telling you, there have been some really good games already. Can't think of one better than this though. Back and forth, and City, I thought, dominant in the first half, but Al Hilal just hanging on in there. And suddenly they come back to 2-1. What City, what can you do? They bounce back straight away, 2-2. 3-2, sorry, now 3-3. I mean, I've said it a couple of times now, but that was going into 90 minutes when next goal wins it. It didn't come.
do get the feeling now, whoever gets this next goal, it's going to be so difficult for the other one to come back. I mean, look, watching Pep now, he's still, his body language, he's telling everybody, you see, it's just exuding, come on, we want to win this. We want to win this within these next 15 minutes. Don't take it to penalties. But it's one of those where neither of these sides deserve to lose.
Thank you, Paul. And another change being made by Al Hilal. Of course, you get one extra in extra time. City have made all of theirs. And it's an interesting one. Musab Al-Jawir has come on, 22 years of age. He had a brilliant season on loan at Al-Shabaab, the team in Saudi Arabia coached by Fatih Terim, the former Turkey coach. 5 goals and 10 assists. But he's come back to Al Hilal for this tournament, 22 years of age, and he is a very good footballer. And he will slot into the midfield here. And now Marmoush brings the ball down for Manchester City. And he fouled Lajami as he cleared the ball behind for a corner kick, and it will be a free kick for Al Hilal with 30 seconds played in the second period. So we are 15 minutes away from penalties, but it would be very unwise to take anything for granted in this game, Scott.
Absolutely. I mean, just sit back and enjoy. That's what I'm certainly doing. You know, both teams, City dominant with possession. Al Hilal look really dangerous on the counter-attack, but already lovely little ball over the top, and Marmoush, he takes it on his chest, but it just bounces off it a little bit too much. And Najami does well to come round and defend, and in the end get the foul.
And it's interesting that they've taken off Al Dawsari, who was doing a defensive role in midfield, and they brought on someone who is maybe more in the, I'm not saying he's as good as him, but more in the Rayan Shirky mode, more of a playmaker. So that does suggest that Inzaghi's not going to try and shut up shop and go for penalties here, or try and win this game. Or maybe they think the best way for them to win this game is not to hold out for penalties.
Yeah, quite possibly. I still think if Al Hilal should be the team that's happy if it does end up going to penalties, as dangerous as they have looked at times. I think it's still City being the dominant side, really.
Well, Lajami will take a throw in here. Kausazar just stumbling, so it's delayed, and he tries to gather here, but it's one back. And Shirky will bring it forward now for City. Look to play in Savinho down the centre, but Al-Balahi will go all the way back towards Bono again. And Al-Balahi creates the angle on the left. And now Neves, who has been absolutely outstanding, particularly for Al Hilal since he moved into that more advanced role. He can have much more of an impact on the game going forward. Now Koulibaly throws it wide to this near side, and Al-Yami, and it's Foden who comes back to try and win the ball. And now Al-Jawir and Milinkovic-Savic plays a good ball wide towards Lodi now. Neves waits inside the penalty area. Ruben Neves was almost in there, but his first touch just took the ball away from him, and in the end it's cleared away by Akanji, but it's blocked by Kausazar, and Akanji in a bit of trouble here, and the ball has burst. In all of that, Akanji put his arms up, and it's because the ball has deflated under his foot.
Well, even the ball's got too tired to carry on in this game. It's just been incredible. Tackle between the two of them, and Akanji's seen it quite clearly, quite quickly.
And City have the ball back from the drop ball. Now there's another player down here, and it's Marcus Leonardo who's getting the treatment from Edison.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, it's not head injury. Carry on playing. What's the referee doing here?
I'm not surprised he has got cramp.
No, I was just about to say he has worked really hard. I mean, at times he's been that kind of lone man, just trying to hold the ball up, almost ski slaloming past Manchester City players trying to nick the ball off him, and sometimes being over physical and bringing him down. He's played that role really well, I have to say.
And just watching on the monitor that chance for Ruben Neves. If he'd just taken that ball beyond Diaz, he was in. But Ruben Diaz read the situation well. And we're about to see another change for Al Hilal. They've kept back their changes. And it's Marcus Leonardo who is coming off. This will be their final change. And he's played his part, certainly. In fact, I think he may be going off to come back on at the moment, but there will be a change for Al Hilal very soon as well. The City come forward here, and we have 11 minutes to play in this game. 3-3 the scoreline if you're just joining us on TalkSport. Doku for Manchester City on this near side, plays it back in field towards Shirky. Shirky tries to thread the eye of the needle with the pass, but it's blocked and Neves will clear, and now it's played wide to this near side, and it's the youngster Cal Cesar who carries it deep into the penalty area, and it was a really good challenge to halt him right on the edge of the box from Shirky. And now City will try and break again. Pep Guardiola extremely animated on the technical area as Doku nearly plays in Bernardo Silva, just slightly overhit, and it's gathered by Bonner.
Oh, so close, wasn't it? And at one end, Cesar nearly gets in, good defending and tracking back from Shirky, and down the other end, Doku nearly puts Bernardo Silva in. He's done some miles today as well, Silva.
It's been a game which has really taken both teams to the absolute limit, and it's only the round of 16.
But it's what we want to see, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's what any tournament wants to see, this type of football at the round of 16.
This is what Infantino wanted to see.
Absolutely.
Now the ball into the penalty area from Cal Cesar for Al Hilal, cleared away by Ake, thumped further downfield by Shirky. Doku will try and turn away from Koulibaly, but Koulibaly has seen that trick before, and Doku ends up careering into the camera on this near side. Also smashed into the pitch microphone, you may have heard as well.
Yeah, I think everybody heard that. I think he telegraphed that little turn a little bit too much there, but still full of running, full of pace, full of power. So skillful as well, just wasn't quite able to get past Koulibaly.
And you're listening to the FIFA Club World Cup live on TalkSport, presented by DAZN. Sign up at DAZN.com to watch every game live and for free. Al Hilal coming forward again now. The cross in, looking for Milinkovic-Savic with a header. It's blocked, but it's turned in. And Al Hilal lead 4-3. Can you believe this? Cal Cesar has made it 4-3 to the Saudi Arabians. It was a brilliant save initially by Edison to keep out Milinkovic-Savic, but Cal Cesar bundles the ball in almost on the goal line, and Al Hilal lead 4-3.
Well, that's what happens when you get the ball in the box. Great ball in, a really good run. I'm just looking at him, he doesn't look overly pleased. I don't know why. He should be smiling. He's witnessing a great game.
Well, it's Marcus Leonardo who got the final touch, I should say. But unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely. And he deserves it. He deserves it. He's worked so hard. Sometimes just no one near him within 20 yards, but he's able to hold the ball up, and he gets booked because he takes his shirt off. He doesn't mind. He'll take that. I mean, what a story. But again, Al Hilal getting bodies forward, whipping the ball in. It's a great ball over the top of Nathan Ake. And you can see Milinkovic-Savic is the one with the header. Great ball in from Lodi. And he heads it down back where it came. It's a good save actually from Edison. And it comes at Leonardo so quickly that he kind of tries to adjust his body, and he stumbles over, and he's falling. He's 2 yards away. Can he use his body and move it out the way so he can get his foot there? Just a yard away as the ball's trickling, fortunately for him, towards the goal, and he taps it in. Is that the winner?
Marcus Leonardo makes it 4-3 to Al Hilal with 6 minutes to play. Well, it's a game which has really stretched the bounds of credibility, and now Manchester City are behind for a third time in the game. And the defending there was absolutely dreadful.
Well, they weren't picking him up. I mean, it was a wonderful ball in. It was an inch-perfect cross. It really was. A wonderful header and positioning from Milinkovic-Savic. Can't blame Edison there. I mean, who's going with Leonardo?
Foden with a free kick into the penalty area. Headed away. City chasing this game again. And now they've got a little over 5 minutes. They need a goal to force a penalty shootout in a game which many people around the world thought they would win easily, but they're 4-3 down. And Al Hilal are not giving this up now, because we saw Renan Lodi slide in there. Marcus Leonardo's down again. I'm staggered he managed to have the energy to put the ball into the net.
Absolutely, he was stumbling. I wonder what was going through his mind, saying, please, please, let me put this in. I mean, fortunately for him, when it came off his body, it was heading towards the goal anyway. If it was heading away from the goal, then he might have found it difficult as he was stumbling, as he was falling over. But no, he ended up got that final touch just a yard out. I mean, what a massive moment. What an upset this could be.
Well, people say that various signings, Ronaldo, John Duran, Ivan Toney, put Saudi Arabian football on the map, or at least try to, but this will put Saudi Arabian football on the map.
Absolutely. The whole world will be waking up and looking at this and thinking, I cannot believe it.
Well, Khalid Al-Ghanam has now replaced Marcus Leonardo, player who's on loan from Al-Ettifaq. He's not started a game this season. This is 12th appearance, all from the bench. And he will go up front now as Milinkovic-Savic looks to play it forward. Can City come back again here and force penalties? Doku on this near side. And the crossing from him is blocked by Koulibaly. Now Kal Cesar. Milinkovic-Savic, he's another player who's had a fine game, and he may have been involved in the winning goal there. But there's still time for City to save themselves. 3.5 minutes to play. Manchester City 3, Al Hilal 4. But Marmoush has been robbed, and there's a counter-attack here for Al Hilal. They got 5 forward in this attack. It's Lodi down the right-hand side, plays it low. Neves! Oh, it's cleared away by Ake. Ruben Neves almost won it there. He can't believe it. He's got his head in his hands, but Ake lunging in kept City in the Club World Cup.
Just fantastic play again. You know, they won the ball back, and it wasn't a question of let's just keep it. It was no, let's quickly try and counter. It's almost a little bit naive, but my goodness me, they almost did finish it off if it wasn't for the lunging challenge of Nathan Ake.
Corner kick for Al Hilal. 2.5 minutes to play. Into the near post, headed away by Ait Nouri. His former Wolves teammate almost won it there, Ruben Neves. Now the back heel in field from Milinkovic-Savic, but it's given away, and City will try and bring it forward themselves here. Shirky on the halfway line. Al-Balahi with the challenge. Shirky's gone down, and nothing given. It's all the way back to Bono. He clears downfield. Brought down by Milinkovic-Savic and played forward for Al-Ghanam. There are Al Hilal players all over the place here, most of them offside. But City bring it forward. 2 minutes to play. 2 minutes away from a result which will shock this competition. Doku comes in field again. It's blocked on the edge of the penalty area. So many people predicted it would be a Chelsea-Manchester City semi-final, but clearly nobody told Al Hilal. Now Shirky, 90 seconds to play. What a morning it's been on TalkSport. 4-3, the Saudi Arabian team lead. But here's an opportunity. Ait Nouri goes for goal, but he puts it over the top, and that shot's heading for the car park.
And it could take at least 30 seconds to come down and get back into play. Now as Ait Nouri chops onto his right, you're thinking, do you really want him shooting from there on his right foot? If he does, he's got to hit the target. He simply has to. Now we're 50 seconds away from one of the most amazing results in world football we've seen for a long time.
Well, what a triumph this would be for Inzaghi. He's known as a defensive coach, but his team are about to beat Manchester City 4-3. The goal kick downfield, one in the air by Milinkovic-Savic, flicked on by Al-Jouer, and now Lodi, still full of running. 20 seconds of normal time to play. And Al Hilal just looking to play keep ball here. It's back with Bono. Barely seconds remain. Manchester City don't have the ball. It's up towards Al Ghanam. He tries to hold it up, and he's been fouled by Ruben Diaz. It's a free kick for Al Hilal, but there will be a minimum of 3 more minutes.
Oh, this is ridiculous, isn't it? And actually, again, Al Hilal, how well are they playing? They're not just sitting back and saying, right, try and break us down. They're actually wanting the ball, and more than that, trying to push forward. Look at the faces of the City bench. They cannot believe what they've seen here.
Milinkovic-Savic all the way back, and now Al-Balahi under pressure goes back towards Bono. Wide to this near side, and now Koulibaly launches it long, looking for Milinkovic-Savic, brings it down on his chest, holds it up, and now Neves plays it wide to the far side. That's a good ball, and there's an opportunity here for Al Hilal to get a fifth, deep into the penalty area, but the shot is saved by Ederson. If that had gone in, that would have been all over. But City coming forward now on the counter-attack. 2 minutes of added time to play. 4-3 down. Marmoush on the edge of the area, but the ball from Shirky doesn't find him. Al Ghanam now for Al Hilal, but it's won back by Ake. Infield again and hammered away into the crowd by Ruben Neves. In fact, it was Lajami who just put his big boot through it and got the ball as far away as possible. There are Al Hilal fans offering prayers here. They're so close. 90 seconds of added time to play. 4-3 they lead. Now Ruben Diaz. High cross into the penalty area from him. Headed away by Lajami. Al-Jouer. And now Al Ghanam finding Cesar. It's a counter-attack here. Al-Jouer in all sorts of space. Cesar can't find him though. The cross was blocked, and City will clear, and they might have one final chance.
1 minute to go. There's no more than that. They've got one more chance. This is it. Can they somehow create something? They've defended so well, Al Hilal. Doku has got to create something from nothing.
Doku on the edge of the penalty area, fires in the shot, took a deflection, and it's over the top. It's a corner with 40 seconds of added time to play.
And he very nearly did it, didn't it? Little shape, come inside, shot. Even with deflection, weren't quite sure which way he was going to go.
It was Lajami who cleared that Haaland effort off the line. How important is that now? This surely is the final chance. Ederson is forward. Can the goalkeeper save Manchester City? It's into the near post, headed away by Al-Jouer. If Cesar gets that, City could be in trouble, but Ederson now retreats. Ait Nouri. 5 seconds of added time to play. The cross in, high to the far post. Bono is there and he claims it. And Al Hilal celebrate all around the stadium. The referee blows the full-time whistle and stop the world. Manchester City want to get off. They are out of the Club World Cup. They have been humiliated by Al Hilal of Saudi Arabia in one of the most remarkable games this competition has seen so far. A triumph for Inzaghi. His team had beaten Manchester City by 4 goals to 3, and Pep Guardiola's hopes of winning the Club World Cup once again lie in tatters all over the pitch in Orlando. This a triumph for Al Nassr and Saudi Arabian football, and Manchester City cannot believe what has just happened to them.
I can't believe what's just happened. My goodness me. I was one of those that thought City would go all the way through to the final. I knew this wouldn't be easy. I knew this would be more difficult than a game against Juventus, but I did not see this coming. And at half-time, 1-0 up, pretty much in control. We said there's a game on here. Honestly, I didn't see that happening even at half-time. They've been brilliant, Al Hilal. They came out in the second half, bang, bang, have some of that, 2-1. City came back, but my goodness me, what a game, what a story.